it's an artist, HEXORCA, and Matt Hatter pointed me to. It's a yeah, he's a pretty dope artist. He's on YouTube.
What's up, everyone?
Oh, what's up, Reese? How you doing, man?
All good, bro. All good. How are you?
Chilling, bro. It's only a few. What's it? Cosmic Kid, I think, and then Jaws up. Yeah, that's it. Everybody else, I think, is listening to our voices while they rest peacefully.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, what's all this
What's up,
stuff
man?
going on with K4K?
I saw he tweeted some hours ago about some drama. Who was it?
I don't know. I missed it. I just seen K4K put up a tweet saying it's mad how one tweet can ruin your reputation or something, and then seeing another tweet, some fella says he's making a note of everyone that's hating on him and something like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, about that. I think maybe one guy who it probably could be is Eric Wall. I had a beef with him earlier today.
No way.
I just had to write something. I was not mad. I tried to be as objective about it as I can because I'm obviously biased. I own Hex and sacrificed for Pulse Chain and Pulse X. So, but I just had to bring it up because Eric Wall is allegedly, I think he's still a chief officer in Arcane Crypto.
Yeah, what was he
it's a
saying?
Scandinavian crypto company, and he was saying something about he was shitting. Actually, he was shitting about the approach. I would say in the development, he was laughing at how I think it was liquid loans, Pulsex, and all these sacrifices and sacrificing going on, and that they. Sorry, my English is a bit bad. I'm trying to find the words.
You're alright,
But
bro. You're alright. Take your time.
Yeah, he was talking about how everyone is just copying others' work and wasn't actually programming or coding themselves. And I was talking to him, and I wanted to defend. I have not sacrificed for liquid loans, but I still felt like somewhat defending them as well as I've defended the sacrifice that I have done for PulseX about how Richard Hart has copied and forking and taken what has worked, still using that and just fixing what's been functioning bad, and how that is more efficient than just starting from scratch. That was my beef with Eric Wall, and I think maybe that has had something to do with K4K. I'm not sure.
From my understanding, and I don't want to get anything started here, so after I say it, we can end the conversation or whatever. But from my understanding, there was a glitch in the referral for liquid loans, and a guy got over 400 referrals, right? So rather than giving him a glitch bounty, right, and saying you found a bug bounty, I mean, and saying, okay, you found a bug, here's a reward, they basically just took away all his referrals. So the beef is more so, is the code actually immutable? Uh, but that's either here nor there, and
Mm.
anything else I don't really have knowledge of. That's to my knowledge, but yeah, man,
It's not a good
that would
start for liquid
piss
loans,
me
though, is it?
off. That would definitely piss me off. What'd you say though?
100%. It's not a good start for liquid loans, is it?
No, that's definitely not a good look, man. Because
No.
for them to remove his referrals, it's almost like I found a loophole in your guys' system. Rather than either just not rewarding me with a bug bounty and just giving me my referrals, you took everything away, and I don't get it.
Mm. No, I don't like that,
Yeah, see,
bros.
personally, I would stay away from all the loan projects. I know I'm not gonna hate on people who want to do that, but I just want to refer to I'm just invested in the Richard Hart projects because all the loan projects I don't quite believe them. I'm trying to get away from loans today, so I don't see why I should sacrifice or invest in further loan projects, if you know what I mean.
No, man, you're totally solid in your stance because I think that's also why I think it was I forgot who asked the question. It was either Matt Hatter or Keith or Jeff or Jaffer who it was yesterday when Richard Hart was in the chat, and I think that's why he phrased that question regarding the other tokens and stuff on this chain and everything because like if you heard him properly, he was basically saying, hey, look, you don't need to participate in any of the other you know events or stuff that are trying to come out on his network and everything. So he was like, hey, yeah, just I have everything, I've built everything. So I feel like he was ultimately telling everybody, hey, look, you guys go into those other projects, that's on you, I'm not promoting them. He's like, I'm letting you know my projects are what we should be focusing on. So I feel like some people missed that sign or understanding. So now people are, whatever they go into, if they go into these other projects, ultimately like he has no responsibility to them. So that's why I feel like some people think he has some type of responsibility to them when in reality they don't. So they feel like maybe he's supporting him in a way by not saying anything when he's just trying not to be rude to the community and be like, you guys are all stupid. So yeah.
Yeah, me personally, I don't think I'd be sacrificing for liquid loans. Me and Jay Future were talking about it the other day. Like, if it is going to be big and if it is going to be successful, why not just wait and let it play out and see what happens? And then if it does work and you see people actually getting benefits from it, then I might look into doing like 5% or 10% of me bag, But that's only if I see other people using it and it's doing well.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the liquidity chart, if you look at uh all of these other charts, because the code has been forked on multiple different networks, right? So if you just look at the charts, they're trying to incentivize people for holding, because when it comes to these loan tokens or whatever, man, people just tend to dump them. So they're really trying to incentivize people to hold for 2 years and sacrifice, do this loan staking bullshit. I mean, I get why they're trying to do it, but it's the fact that they're stepping on Richard Hart, and it's the fact that they're I mean, look, Richard Hart hasn't even figured out, is the sacrifice phase does it work? So it's like, how are these other guys trying to use the sacrifice if Richard hasn't even finished it? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I agree with that, bro. And the fact that they never mentioned that about sacrifice, and then all of a sudden, like, it's just out of the blue that you have to sacrifice for it, like, I don't know, and now they're having bugs, like, and it's not even launched yet,
No, they
like, so,
mentioned it. They mentioned it. It was definitely coming. If you was looking for
yeah,
liquid loans, it was definitely coming. Yeah.
yeah, either way, bro, I think I'm still gonna hold out. Like if I had loads of money there and like I already, you know what I mean, had millions from Hex or whatever, then I'd probably invest in it and take a risk in it. But if there's anyone that hasn't really got the extra money, I wouldn't be throwing extra money at, you know. Just sit back, see what happens.
Yeah, man, it's tough, man. It's tough to distinguish what's good and what's not. And you know, for most of us, the best route to go is to just stay put and sit down. So, you know, if you don't feel comfortable, man, do not put your money in nothing you ain't backed up and did your own due diligence with. Because if you ain't do your due diligence, then I mean, even if you did, man, it's like this stuff is dangerous. You know, this is crypto. Just look at the liquidity chart. I'm gonna post it up and pin it. But
Yeah,
just look
post it
at
up
it.
and pin it, bro. Yeah, I haven't even seen it, to be honest with you. And I don't like as
Yeah.
well people are dumping the Hex to sacrifice for it as well, you know what I mean? That's not good. I definitely wouldn't be dumping me Hex to sacrifice for that. Not a chance.
You got to think about it. That's also kind of good for everybody else. Then, so what they're doing is dropping the price for us. So ultimately, shit, I bought it at 20 cents. Now I got some at 16. So I'm like, shit.
Yeah, it is handy that way, bro. 100%.
So I'm just like, I see it dump. I'm like, hey, that's a good thing because now I can get it at a lower price now. So
What's the gas fees looking like? Cause I might go ahead and you know what I'm
shit.
saying, eat the
Earlier,
dip.
I mean, if you were up around like maybe 3 or 4 hours ago, because it would have been like 3 a.m. here, and gas fees would have been stupid low, like Famous always been saying. So like, yeah, I don't know. It's just
Like $30, you know what I'm saying? Like
shit. He
for a
was saying
swap.
less than that. We were spending like $10, $8 for gas. Yeah,
Yeah, bro. The gas is
For a
like on very
swap.
low.
Yeah, hey, Kid Cosmic, I bought some at 15.5, and it was $19 for my gas fee for the
yeah,
swap
yeah.
on Uniswap.
That ain't too shabby, man. You know what I'm saying? That ain't too
No,
shabby.
See, that's why everybody's like, "Oh shit, what's going on?"
I'm thinking of getting some more, even with the gas fee being at 90. Like, it comes out to be like $30, when it's like 90. So like at the same time, that's not bad either because it'll tell you like if you go to the Ethereum gas tracker. I just have that screen open on another screen, and what I'll do is just wait for the combination of the price as well as like that low. It starts dipping. As soon as I see that price dipping, I'll make a buy. Sometimes it just dips right when I buy and then it shoots back up and my transaction gets stuck for an hour, but I don't really care. I'm not going anywhere with it. So that's like the worst that could happen is if you put like a 30 Gwei gas rate, you might, and it pops up to 60 like right away, then you might get stuck for like an hour. But that's about it.
I'm used to that shit.
All I see was that commercial with the OxyClean guy, like he was trying to clean up something. But the OxyClean, his voice, and I could hear him saying, he's like, "Buy Hex now."
Yeah, man. These gas fees, they haven't been this low for about 6 months, man. For these new guys coming in, you know, we were kind of onboarded 6 months ago before the pulse chain sacrifice started and everything. We were getting people onboarded, man. It was about $5 gas fees. People, they were pretty okay with that. But then out of nowhere, it just went from 5 to 15 to just fucking 70 gas fee, 90 gas fee, 100, 200 gas fee. It's like, dude, come on. In a matter of weeks, this is weeks. where you see gas go from $5 to just $200, and it's crazy. This is the issue that we're trying to solve.
Bro, that chart looks mental.
I think it's the main reason, like, Pulse, it has to be huge. Like, ETH is unusable.
Yeah, like, it's actually gonna be crazy, and to do a stake on Pulse, it's gonna cost you like fractions of a penny, like, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
madness.
to be honest.
Yeah, just that alone, like, that's nuts, man.
Nuts, bro.
All this NFT selling and buying, like, it'd be so much fucking easier.
Exactly, bro. That's what me and Gar are waiting for as well. That's why we don't want to launch our NFTs now, because Ethereum's just raping people. Do you know what I mean? It's horrible.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's horrible.
Unstaking too, you know, like I'm pretty sure that's why Richard Hart decided, you know, enough's enough. I'm not waiting for Ethereum consensus or these guys to go to proof of stake. I'm just going to do it myself because it's wrecking Hex. Because Hex should be much better just based on the fees for unstaking. And this is the only issue. And it's funny because when they did the London hard fork, it really didn't do anything. If you notice, like gas fees started going up even higher. That could have just been a combination of OpenSea.
Getting worse. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah. So the way I look at it is that we all need this. I'm excited for it. Like I'm so grateful that I found out about Richard Hart. Like what? It's been about like almost 2 months now that I really like heard about him. Right. So it was like I got a video from my uncle about Richard Hart because he's been saying Hex. He's like, oh hey, you should buy Hex. You know, he told me back in like March last year, like April last year. And I'm like, oh, I think my buddy Mike told me about that. So those two people, you know, both mentioned Hex before, but that was all they did. They're like, oh, Hex. And then I go look for it. I'm like, I don't see it anywhere. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, it's number 200 or something. Like, well, what is this? You know, I'm like, then I Google search it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't see it on any exchanges. They didn't do a good job of trying to onboard me, right? They just said Hex, you know, like the average person's never heard of it, heard a Richard Hart, seen a Richard Hart video. You just say, go buy Hex. They're going to be like the normal sheep, you know, manipulated crypto person who doesn't know shit, who's just going to be like, oh, like BitBoy didn't talk about it. Or, you know, like you're not going to get your information right. You have to literally deliver them some gold of Richard Hart.
I feel like Sean. I feel like you got it though. The fact that you said your dad, right?
No, so like yeah, I can tell you the story. It's like 4 years ago. No, like yeah, my uncle who I met my long lost uncle that no one in my family knows because I started a Ethereum mining consulting. So I started building people's mining rigs and facility development like in 2017. And this guy calls me on a Craigslist, like a ad. And he's just like, oh, and my rigs are built. Some guy built them, but they suck. They don't work. So I said, hey, come bring them in. And I looked at him and I was talking to the guy. I'm like, man, you look familiar. I think you're my uncle. And like, he was just like, what do you mean? He's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, you know, Frank. He was just like, holy shit, you know, and it was crazy. He like grew up with my dad. I hadn't seen him since I was like 12, and it's my uncle, you know, and it's like, holy shit. We laughed about it, you know, we got drunk, and it's pretty cool story. But in the end, you know, he kind of like, I just kept doing my thing, and like he messaged me. He's like, oh, you should look at Hex. He put in like a little bit back early, like, you know, and he did well with it. So he was pretty much like, hey, you should buy some. And I'm like, yeah. And then New Year's came and I hadn't talked to him in a while. And I talked to my dad, who hadn't also talked to him in a while. So I messaged my uncle. I was just like, hey, I talked to my dad. I told him I talked to you. I'm sure you guys could figure out your BS. Just talk to him, And he was just like, oh, yeah, it's perfect timing you because this thing called Pulse X is happening soon. You should look at Richard Hart. And he sent me the Meet Kevin video. He actually sent, he didn't just tell me, he sent me the video this time. And so from when he sent me the video, I was just like, who's this pink-haired dude? And I'm like, what's this guy all about? And I'm like, oh, this guy's balling out with all his watches and everything. I'm like, okay, what is this? And then I watched his video and I was just like, oh, damn, And then I went on to like the Word Up TV video. And then I went up to like the Kitco News video. And then I just started watching more of his videos. And I just was laughing half the time because I'm like, man, this guy's like exactly so right. Everything he's been saying makes perfect sense. I'm like, screw it. I'm going to throw in $500 as Pulse X. And then 3 hours later, oh, here's another 500. It's just like, and then I'm like, I emptied all of my exchanges, everything, all my ledgers, everything went there. And then then I've been DCing and staking Hex.
Cool story, but I like that. If I was you, I would have took that as a sign about meeting him. Your long lost uncle you've never met before, and then all of a sudden he just tells you about this cryptocurrency called Hex. Imagine you had bought into it, bro, when he told you. That's a sick old story, brother.
Yeah, he told me like, no, it was like a years later, right? So like we met, we hung out and stuff. The market crashed, everything was bad. I lost a bunch from a big mining operation that I was a partner of. I was supposed to be getting a big percentage of the mine for doing all the work, setting up the contractors, like putting the rigs together, all that stuff that we were doing. We were going to get a good percentage. And then the investors just completely just backed out. And they're like, no, we're cutting ties with everyone. And the contract that my partners signed was garbage. And, I kind of got screwed. We all kind of got screwed out of it. So in the end, it was a learning lesson, but I just went on with my life. And I'm grateful because like if that wouldn't have happened, maybe I wouldn't have pursued my same career. And I would have been in the dying mining industry, especially with those old machines, like they over time would lose. And, so now my business.
Bro, everything happens for a reason, brother. 100%.
100%. And maybe if that had happened, I would have became like an Ethereum Bitcoin maxi, and I just wouldn't like think of anything else.
You'd wrecked right now.
Yeah, you'd be wrecked, literally.
I would be wrecked, exactly. So the way I look at it is that, yeah, like the overhead for that place wasn't cheap. And for them to like, they would have had to sell their crypto. And before that, when we were doing it, they were sending us Bitcoin and we would sell it to go fund the place. And I was like, I'm not funding it through my bank. It's like, I'm not going to pay taxes on your project's funding. So we were doing all under the table, like cash deals of like $50,000 at restaurants and stuff. It was pretty sketchy. It's like I would go, we'd have like, we'd have like 4 or 5 Bitcoin, and like we would just go to like a Boston Pizza and meet this guy. He had like 50 grand in his backpack, and we would just be like, all right, you sent it. Here's a confirmation. He just handed us over like the money in the backpack, and we just put it in our backpack. And the craziest time we went, there was like literally like the OPPs, like the Ontario Provincial Police. And we walk in, this guy's sitting on a booth, and right beside him is like 30 police officers celebrating something. And these guys are not like, these guys are like the cops. You're like, holy crap, they're like the Highway Patrol, the California Highway Patrol, but they're the Ontario Provincial Police. And we're like looking at each other like, oh crap, what's going on? It's like we're about to buy 50 grand in Bitcoin, and like these guys are all sitting right here. The guy was just like, hey, come, like he was just like, whatever, let's just not make it suspicious. We did the deal and we went on. So, and and since then, like the price of Bitcoin kept dropping. Like our clients would like the investors would send us Bitcoin, and by the time we'd go to sell it, it'd be a lot less. Right. So it was just like, hey, like we need more. you know, and it's just like they were like, no, this is not working out because like you should sell it right when we send it to you. We're like, yeah, we can't do that. So it was an interesting experience.
So it was that you were in deep into some drug cartel, and they were trying to help you wash your money and everything. And
by mining rig.
That's crazy though. I mean, is mining still like, I don't know, is it still dying, or has it been like revamped with newer tech and shit?
I know that they're always coming out with new tech, and I mean that means that they're always going to be coming out with new tech. So no matter what,
just came out with that new processor that can like mine Bitcoin at an insane rate.
Yeah, I mean at the same time, how much like as no matter what, it's just going to get harder and harder and harder to mine. That's just how it's designed, right? So every transaction makes every block harder to mine. So forever, it's only going to use more energy to mine. And then you're going to have to create new technology to mine it. Well, that's very detrimental. Like wasting all those natural resources on making all this stupid ass equipment is all.
Yeah, it's like what Richard said. It's a pollution machine.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I know that like China and all these other countries that are destroying the environment through their ways, but I mean, we send them all to manufacturing. So unless we want to make a change, or companies here want to make a change, it's just like a combination of like corporate greed and China. You know, it's just like countries that don't give a shit about our environment. But look, even like Jay Future mentioned once, he was just like, yeah, he went to China and the sky was like perfectly clear because like I guess someone was visiting China, and they just went and like shut all their factories down. So that like the government overreach is so insane. They're like shut off all the factories for a couple days, and now like everything is blue sky. So over there, like saved a million animals. Who knows? Or like, so I guess over there it's just a matter of, yeah. I guess it's just like they're gonna constantly keep making it. And I you know when I sell HVAC. And I'm talking to customers, I'm like, hey, like, yeah, I know my product is a little more expensive than what you're getting quoted, but it's significantly higher quality. Like when I sell furnaces, I only recommend people the stuff with stainless steel heat exchangers because it seems like everything else in the furnace is also much better. And customers are like, well, look at this Carrier, look at this Lennox. Like, I'm like, yeah, it's a nice name brand. It's been around for decades, but they use aluminized steel. So I haven't seen a new Carrier last more than 12 years or 10 years. I'd rather you get 20 years out of it. And even though these companies are all about energy savings, it seems like they are building low quality equipment that doesn't last that long. So it's kind of an oxymoron, or it's, you know, it kind of goes against their whole environmental friendly thing. And yeah,
it goes into like the corporate greed you were talking about. It's planned into the making of the products. It's what's that called? Planned obsolescence, where it's made to break down so, you know, they stay in business and profits stay up. They have to keep making more. You have to come back pretty much and get another one if you want that, you know, aluminized, you know, whatever. It's the same with like all the tech, all the phones, they're all made to break after, you know, 3-4 years. Like your shit's just made to act up, and I don't know, it's like we're playing like a really dangerous game with like really rare resources. Like this is nuts.
Yeah, man, it's I mean, things will change eventually. Who knows? Maybe they won't. Maybe we'll just kind of start withering away like people do. You know, people will always overcome like whatever obstacle, but many people, like there's never been a time where humans have had to reverse our own mistakes. You know, it's like we've dealt with like natural disasters and crazy stuff and like sickness over time, but we've always survived. And you know, some people have survived, but when it comes to like, if you look at the history of human beings, like look at like the Egyptians and stuff like that, let's say, I guess, was there a mass extinction almost of the human species? Did we start over? Like, and like did Bigfoot come out of the woods and just start becoming human again? Like, I don't know. Like, so to me, I'm not like a well-educated person on that topic, but when it comes to like what I'm seeing today, it seems like corporate greed definitely is talked into the ear of the government, who isn't saying like, oh, hey, look, like, and what I know is like furnaces, for example, like when I keep bringing it up, and it's like, when I see furnaces, the technology for stainless steel heat exchangers has been out for about 10 years. So every furnace now should be made with that, in my opinion, because stainless steel, like if you look at the warranty from like an Amana furnace, which is like one of my best selling, just because it's like the best price that I can get for customers. That thing has a 99-year heat exchanger warranty, and if the part fails, they give you a whole new unit. Where if you look at like a more expensive, well-known brand like Carrier, their heat exchanger warranty is 20 years, and if that part fails, which it will, because it's not stainless steel, it's aluminized steel, which is like the cheapest metal you could buy. If you go to a metal supplier and you say, hey, give me the cheapest pipe you got, they're going to give you a pipe of aluminized steel. Yeah. So in the end, it's like, okay, they're giving you this aluminized steel heat exchanger. If that part fails, they're going to give you a new part, but you're going to have to spend like $1,800 in labor to get that free part replaced if you don't have a warranty on labor. So it's like, it only costs you $800 to replace the entire unit, not if the Amana breaks down. So it's cheaper for you, and it's going to last longer. Like, where's the benefit? So that's kind of like where I'm like, if I could be a politician or if I could be a lobbyist, I would be like, hey, for the environment, make sure you're awarding these companies that are providing higher quality components, better equipment at the same or better price than their competitors. And you should tax their competitors because they're providing a product that's detrimental to the environment, to force them to change and get on par with the quality that's out there. So I think that would be like the next step to like government actually providing some kind of good technological advances, environmental changes, is by forcing environmental impact on big companies, corporations that are bigger than smaller companies that are doing more, for the environment by better innovation in their products, and making products last longer, things like that.
Exactly. That's why I think proof of stake is gonna explode. Like it's the reason Hex, I feel like performed it like it did, and I feel like it's why PLS is gonna explode, PLSX, all of it. Like proof of stake is it just makes so much more sense. Like there are places where the power grid literally fails because like people are trying to mine. It's like America can't go through that. Like we can't. So much of our shit's already breaking down. Like it just can't.
Yeah, man.
Like in Texas, where when the weather gets too fucking cold, the grid collapses. Like, come on.
I would argue that proof of stake actually provides crypto more security towards government as well because of the pollution.
Yeah.
Because proof of stake can be used against crypto, like they did in China, banning mining. With proof of stake, you can't ban mining anymore by doing stuff to provide less power to mine.
Exactly. You can't manipulate it by, exactly cutting the power grid off in an area. Like you're not going to drop the price by, doing anything like that. It's definitely true. I don't know. Yeah, we just need this thing to drop.
Hey, Reese, what's going on, man?
I just wanted to say, kind of going off the topic there a bit, but I just want to say anyone in the space there liked what Sean was talking about. Sean has a brilliant news page. called What's Not on the News. If you want to pin it to the top, Sean. So just so we can get everyone informed on what's going on, you know. Just love the work you're
copy
doing,
that.
bro. It's
Thank you.
brilliant. And think about how easy it's going to be to onboard new people when Pulse Chain launches because of the fees. Like, 'cause that's what turns away half the people nowadays. Like, not everyone has like a couple of grand to throw into a stake. Some people only want to do a couple of hundred, and then the gas fees are nearly the same. Starting there thinking like, what's the point, you know?
Yeah, that's what Richard said. He was like, with current ETH fees, like just knock out anyone who's not a whale. Like you can't really win off this right now.
Exactly, bro. Think about like how easy it's gotta be to actually onboard new people in that only have like a couple of $100 to stake, you know? It's gonna be a
And
lot
they don't
easier.
even have to transfer anything over. Like if you got your shit in your wallet and your MetaMask or your Trust wallet, you're already on the chain. Like you don't have to bridge. Like you just fucking change a setting and you're already in. Like
crazy, bro. It's gonna be crazy. I don't think any of us are actually prepared for how big this is gonna be.
I know, man. That's what I've been trying to tell people.
I don't think I'm ready. Anyways.
In Britain, do you feel like when you talk to people about crypto who is not in crypto right now, do you feel like they care about the environment, not only just the money aspect of it, when you try to onboard or talk about crypto? Like, why I'm asking is because here in Norway, where I'm from, actually, I have a lot of people who get the money aspect of it. Like, your money is inflationary and crypto is deflationary, and but actually they care so much about the environment that I'm struggling to onboard because people always mention Bitcoin and the power problems and the aspect of mining.
But that's why Hex is beautiful, because Hex doesn't harm the environment. It's a beautiful thing.
It's one of the main reasons like artists hate NFTs right now. It's like the damage to the environment to fucking send and process an NFT. Most artists aren't with that. Like it's the first thing I always hear. It's like, oh, you know, your art's really amazing. You should get into making NFTs. I'm like, nah, I don't want to damage the environment like that. Like, isn't Bitcoin really slow and this, that, and that? I'm like, oh man,
bro, there's a lot more things out
Reese,
there that are damaging the environment.
If you're an artist, and you want to write and stuff like that, and you want to be a paint and you do canvases and everything, and you want to be like protective of the environment and everything, I want to say whoever paints and stuff like that, they're not really trying to be respective to nature or anything like that, as they have to take from nature and actually, utilize something to produce their form of art. So I'm going to say this. Hey, I just realized this as I'm listening to you guys talk, so I'm sorry I had to say this. The only true art is the art that doesn't require anything to produce something. So in saying that, it's also saying that cryptocurrency is an art in a way, because we give it that value, such as art, like pictures and shit like that. So I just wanted to say, anybody that actually does painting and canvassing and stuff like that, they're not being receptive to nature, because if they were, they wouldn't destroy products and everything else to actually construct their own art. I just wanted to say that because I write poetry and I don't need anything else to, present art.
No, I feel that all you need is a pen and paper.
No, you don't even need pen or paper. It's just oral. Like literally, it's nothing. You need nothing to produce the art of poetry or writing or anything. Well, writing, yeah, but like poetry and spoken word. So I just
spoken word, yeah. Spoken word's all you, yeah. No, that's. But even that, right? You could say that takes up like a human resource, or like that shit spends. Like you spend some of yourself doing that. Like it's not everyone can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I was just referencing the whole aspect of having to use natural resources and stuff like that to produce something, such as buying making a computer. We have to destroy all kinds of shit to make a computer and everything else, and we utilize it for whatever reason, and we justify that. So, and I was just like making an example of being an artist, you would you would need other these resources and stuff. So you're not doing anything any better by trying to be
No, I think everyone's just like trying to be more about sustainability. It's not about not using stuff. It's about making sure that like we use stuff and then that we still have more for the future, right? Like we don't want to
yes, of course,
run out of the shit and then like now we have to fight China or now we have to fight Russia for.
Nah, man.
Whatever,
I want to say this also. At some point, like Elon Musk wants, or what he believes, harvesting asteroids and shit like that, or moons, and getting off planet and stuff. That would be cool as fuck. But I also feel like we haven't really. Well, we probably have. They just don't want us to discover it and stuff. Have other resources around that we can utilize in different manners. I mean,
that too, yeah, exactly. That's what we're talking about, like innovative technology that like pushes what humans can do because like it can just it's just more efficient. You know what I mean? Like we should have like fusion energy by now. Like we should have like all these. You know what I mean? Like why are we still burning fucking?
We have a lot of that technology, but it's probably like normal people say it's that gas. What? We're for no reason. All right, bye, man. Take it easy. And, it's just old systems are in place still, so we need to wait for them to die off. That's all.
Yeah, I hope they don't kill us off with them though. Like this shit's getting crazy now. Like I feel like nations are gonna start fighting for fucking water soon. Like it's getting nuts. And it's just like it's another plus to the whole like pulse chain like system. It just we don't cost the environment anything. Like the shit runs great, it runs better, and like we're not the cause of anything. Like you know what I mean? Like you just can't lose. Like there's no downside to this.
I'm gonna work on writing something like that about what makes a true artist, and then just bash other artists real fast and see how much flack I can get.
Yeah, what's his name? Salvador Dali was like that. He was like, he just loved pissing off other artists by like calling every artist a fraud.
It just sounds like a fun thing to do. It's just like I want to see you argue.
he lived quite a life off that was his life. Just pissing people the fuck off.
Never mind. I'm over here playing Halo on my computer, and I was like trying to write a poem real fast, and I realized I can't because I'm playing something.
Yeah, I'm over here playing 2K. Yeah, does anyone outside of the country, like, or I mean, outside of the, the U.S., like, are you hearing a lot of local hype about Pulse?
Not really, bro. No, not many people in Ireland would. I only see. I don't even think. I think I've met 2 people so far from Ireland that are Hexkins, like. So I have a lot of work to do.
It's kind of a good thing for now. you can really position yourself.
I think it's more bigger in England. I think definitely there's a lot of people in England involved in it. But yeah, I need to start spreading the word.
We don't have a big community in Norway, I would say, but it's a loyal community nonetheless. But no, that I wouldn't say it's much hype going on here in Norway, but we're a small country as well, though.
I mean, yeah, it just goes to show, like how early we are. Like, this is it's gonna be insane to see like where some of these projects are in, like, 5 years, 6 years. Like look at Bitcoin 10 years ago. Like look at it now. Like imagine Hex Pulse 10 years after. Like it's gonna be.
It's gonna melt faces, brother.
Yeah, like there's gonna be like trillionaires are gonna be the new billionaire class. Like there's just gonna be a bunch of billionaires walking around because I think crypto is what's gonna invent that. Create
the
that
thing. Who's actually gonna hold for 5 or 10 years? That's the question. Who has them diamond hands?
People who have that mentality. I think that's like one of the crazier things about like the whole Hex and Richard Hart fucking community. It's just like everyone's kind of just taught to just wait. The whole thing's based on waiting.
Gratification, yeah. It's all about delayed gratification, 100%.
The whole thing's based on like stake your shit for this long, don't touch it.
Yeah, no, but not everyone's on the ball. You know what I mean? Some people go all in, and then like something happens, and they need to take the money out, or something comes up. Do you want to buy this? Or do you want to buy that? You know what I mean? But
I mean,
shake the weekends out.
Yeah, you got to take care,
bro. Of course, yeah, 100%. Definitely take little bits along the way, but I think I'm gonna be staking most of it for as long as I can.
Yeah.
So I'm only 24, bro. You know what I mean? Like if I stake for 15 years, well, I'm 25 in May. So if I stake for 15 years, like I'll only be still 40. You know what I mean?
Bro, that's fucking insane. Like, yeah, I'm 32, and like I'm thinking like if I had been staking since I was fucking, if this was here since I was fucking 22.
I'm 20, bro. Like, dude, that's
like y'all
crazy
said at my age, like
hold the whole time. Like you're talking about who's gonna hold. It's like, dude, in the next 10 years, I'm gonna be still looking for a career. Well, probably not if I'm holding these type of bags. So it's like, dude, I'm holding this entire time and I'm staking deep.
Yeah, like
once you stake it, that's it. Anyways, you know, man, you can't touch it, and even if you try and do touch it, you're gonna get penalized anyway. So
yeah, you get ate up so bad that you lose it all anyway. So it's not worth it.
I don't know, man. I feel like when everybody was buy another treasure, make 2 stakes on it, and then lock the treasure up somewhere with everything that it needs, and then just do whatever I'm doing. So I know I won't.
Look, if you're trying to be secure, you would definitely not have the seed in the treasure, and you would have the seeds on some form of metal that doesn't have an alloy. So you will want to rethink that there, buddy.
I already rethought it. I've already have it already set up because I have it set up the seed phrases somewhere else, the treasure's gonna be like in an actual lockbox. So
No, well, it's
I
no need.
already thought about
If you already have the
I
seeds,
already
you
have
don't.
my own stake.
I
So
wouldn't.
these stakes are literally for
That's
somebody else.
another attack vector.
Like,
That's something I wouldn't advise doing. Sorry.
my kid, trust me. I've heard everybody's words in this group.
I mean, but yeah, like it just goes to like this is crazy. This is going to be the biggest transfer of fucking wealth ever. Like, and all you have to do is hold on to your keys. Like, it's that simple. Just don't lose. You don't have to fucking do anything. You know what I mean? Like, there's no pension. There's no savings account that's gonna fucking grow this way. Like, crypto is just, I don't know, something else. I feel like Pulse Chain is like crypto 2.0 and shit. Like,
Yeah, because it's deflationary.
I would say proof of stake is actually crypto 2.0.
yeah.
100%.
And when I can only talk for my own country, but like we're talking about how early Hex and Pulse Chain and Pulse X is, but I would say crypto is still early because most people I talk to doesn't even know any basic information there is about crypto. They only refer to Bitcoin. Many people don't even know about Ethereum.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, dude, proof of stake is kind of, we're on like layer 3s now, bro. Well, not layer 3s, layer 1s, but we're on version 3s, bro, where you literally don't even need stakers. Like, the network can run itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
Pulse Chain
is going to be new and fresh and hot, but there's still going to be things coming out, which I advise we educate the community about because, you know, it's going to be
funny
dope.
you say that because the buy and burn is actually it can run itself. You don't even need to stake anymore. It's because of the buy and burn functions.
Not
Rolling.
that. It's
you're
more so how the network gains consensus. I don't want to shill any other networks, but just look at up and coming project called Corium. And basically, you know, they have this new system where, and I'm not claiming that it's going to be the dopest thing out, but basically when the network is under like high loads, they save fees. So when the network is under low loads, right, they can still, you know, pay validators and, you know, uphold the network. So it's just pretty dope to see. Because what if people just don't even stake or delegate on Pulse? That's something people haven't thought about, but you know, everybody's excited to. So
yeah, no, I
didn't even know about this. So that's how early crypto is.
yeah, definitely. Like it's moving very fast, and you know, Pulse Chain, we're right in the mix. But it's things that's coming out, and you know, we'll be able to take advantage because multi-chain, cross-chain, you know. So it's not like we're gonna miss it. We're just being a part of it.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's just set up to be a big part of it though. Cause like this is pretty big. Like this isn't Soul Chain, you know what I mean? Like a lot of these other chains right now are broken. Like they're not much better either. Like there are some dope ones coming out, but a lot of, you know, like ADA has some work to do. Fucking.
So I got a question now. So if Pulse Chain is gonna be the bees fucking knees, right? What if we get congested ASAP? What if fees get to cranking up within the first 2 years? Kind of like how they did for, you know, Hex on Ethereum. What if people are just using the hell out of the chain? What is gonna be the
That's
consensus
a good point,
then?
bro.
Well, it's got a 3-second block time though. Like
look what happened to Sol.
Yeah, but dude, look, what if Ethereum
Solana got
just straight up
and it crashed?
You're
right, bro. What you're saying? Yeah, right. Look at Solana. It was doing like, what was it, like 440,000 transactions per second or something, because people just kept using it because it was so cheap and so quick, and it just flooded the system. And ever since then, it's just been getting hacked. And you know, that's a good point, Cosmic Kid. I like that.
No, that's true, but you know, like Pulse isn't a fork of Sol though. Like the Sol code has flaws in it too. Like Solana's code is kind of.
But
Yeah, I
look
know
at it
what you
like this.
mean.
Look at Binance Smart Chain. The fees are cheap over there, bro, but they're like at least $2, $4 when everything is high. So what I'm saying is, what if we get more use than Binance, the smart chain, and then fees are like $10? That's not bad in my opinion. Even now, I don't mind paying $10 on Ethereum. But for a new guy learning Pulse Chain, maybe $10 is like, whoa, what the heck? That's just like Ethereum.
Yeah, I mean, I could see. We're just gonna have to wait and see. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna have to wait and see. Like under heavy loads, what do the fees stay up? You know, stay down at. But I don't know if it works the way he's saying it works. It's crazy, man. And it's like with the same security as ETH, like ETH doesn't get hacked very often.
I
I
mean,
don't
it
think ETH
just
has
did,
ever been
though.
hacked. Did it?
Yeah,
Yeah, Solana
exactly.
bridge, but it was Solana's fault. But yeah,
That was yeah. The hack was on Solana's end. Exactly. Like it's
Yeah, it wasn't Ethereum's end, yeah.
ETH is, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what like I feel like gives me like that security of like,
isn't
all right,
that crazy? Like, dude, literally, crypto is so real that if you find a loophole, you can like that's how real the money is. It's crazy.
oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, man, if you learn to code, everyone learn how to code because like to just protect yourself and just to learn how to like move in this world, like we're gonna have to know some coding language. Like you got to. You got to. Like that was someone who just read over some code and like saw an exploit and was like, oh, all right, so I'll just do that then. It's like you see how like
a developer though. It could have been a dev because think that's Solana code is fairly new.
I didn't catch that. Was that choppy for everyone else?
Yeah. But don't you think,
What's up, guys?
that it will be this when crypto adopts and becomes a mass adoption? Don't you think the codes also will be better in a way with less hacks and advantages? You know.
Well, I mean, the way technology works, it's like things are gonna have to keep changing because like the older any program is, like the more hacks get found for it. Like that's why things have to constantly update. But it's like, yeah, by the time mass adoption comes around, I think like really it's about positioning yourself to be like one of the heavy movers when that happens. You know what I mean? Like you want to be either Vitalik or you want to be BTC or you want to be fucking, if this, if Pulse Chain works the way it works, like it'll be the fucking alternative to ETH. Like I why would people use ETH the same way? I mean, Richard said like it'll lower the stress on ETH and lower the fees over there too, but I don't know, man. Like if the fees are 3 cents over here and it's $30 or even $10 or $7 on ETH, I'm still going over here. And like think of all the different chains and all the coins that work better now on that network. A lot of coins like died because of ETH's fees. Like no one wants to use your shit because like your fees are just, well, not your fees, but ETH's fees are killing the project.
Yeah, I have to laugh about that because that's quite funny. In Norway here, we recently, about some months ago, started to see that more and more people got the hype of Ethereum, like being a place you could write apps on and start shit, I guess. And what's funny is that the banks in Norway started to see that shit. This thing is blowing up. We should take part in some shape or form. And right after that, one of our banks called Sparebank 1 got on, the fee started to explode. It was practically unusable.
Like, yeah, you see the thing, like there's no scalability. Like you can't. Oh man, like if too many people start using ETH, like that shit's gonna be totally just for the rich only.
Yeah, and I have to give credit, like Richard Hart does, to Vitalik, because the origin of Ethereum was good. The idea was good, and
it's good code, yeah.
Yeah, and just the fundamentals and everything. He pointed to crypto in a good direction, I would say. But as a natural cause, if you look at the history in the world, it's only natural that the better technology, better players, the better solutions come and take over and take it even further. It's quite the evolution.
Yeah, no, it's inevitable.
Hey man, I can't stop thinking about how bullish this thing is, that like for our community right now with Hex, Pulse Chain, and PulseX. I just can't wait can't wait to be financial free. I can't even see another outcome of this. It's so freaking bullish, and I'm not an early mover into Hex. I came in quite late. I would say I'm the victim of XRP.
Oh man, yeah.
Hello, my name is Christopher. I like it. Much like the AA meetings, you know. I was an XRP holder. I believed and listened to the wrong guys. I came into crypto quite late. Actually, I didn't start in crypto like until 2019. Came in and I saw XRP, and I must say that the solution of it was quite appealing. That I had the initial thought, you know, you must see, I came from stocks. So to see that crypto was in one scale of, and you had stocks on the other, and fiat, and that XRP would be kind of the middle. So it seemed like a good place to start when I didn't know much. But afterwards, when I found the Hex through TikTok and Quant Gang, I started to see that even though I didn't always found Richard Hart to be he killed people in his discussions, but I couldn't find anything on him. Like I didn't want to like him, but I couldn't find myself not to, if you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. Like at first, you're just like, yo, why is this dude so fucking cocky? And like, but he's like not wrong though. That's the.
It was not wrong, not one single time, and I found myself just okay. Let's attack this crypto thing in another way. Okay, I'll keep some XRP and I diversify with Hex. So now I'm like, I went from stocks to go to the middle ground, but now I'm moving from the middle ground to the total true crypto.
Right.
Now I'm all in Hex. And I've sacrificed some for Pulse Chain, but I was so late and I didn't understand the sacrifice. What will you call it? Oh, the rates,
the rates, right?
Yeah, I didn't understand that, so I was actually I was sacrificing first when I heard that. I thought the whole thing was closed. I didn't understand that it was closed, but Richard said it was still open, so I tried to sacrifice just something. In my mind, I thought that if this is the only way to get it, I want in just to have something to begin using the network. So I need to buy this when this comes out. I'm one of those guys who's going to start the value on the chain because I need more of this. and I sacrificed some more for Pulse X day one.
Nice.
In terms of Hex, I was in. I think it's in the 600 numbers days. Yeah, early 600, I think. So I'm a late Hexagon, but I'm all in now.
Same. Dude, I didn't even find fucking Hex until was it like after the top? After he called the top, it's like the summer, and I was like, oh, why didn't I find this in the spring?
Yeah, the same for me. And in terms of Hex, I'm actually I think I'm the world champion in buying the top. Because in terms of the price, I'm down, but in terms of t-shirts, oh god, I'm
way up. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters. I'm getting paid every day.
Exactly.
I'm actually getting paid, even though I went in this all the wrong ways I could possibly do. I sacrificed, like I said, I sacrificed for Pulse Chain after the fucking sacrifice phase. I went into Hex late and I bought the top, but still I'm sort of feel like I'm winning. If this was the stock market, I would have been liquidated and I would be way off and way out. But here I'm actually winning. That just tells you how bullish this thing is.
Yeah. No, crypto is something else, man. Like this is.
And God, I have to bring this subject up because, I'm also one of those who saw Raul Pal in the early days before I found XRP and everything, and he talked about risk. Like you have risk in stocks and you have risk in just keeping your money in the bank, and every time the reason why I was so late into crypto is because everybody told me that this is way too risky. But in terms of risk, I think that maybe many people misunderstand the type of risk.
Exactly.
Many people think of volatility as the risk, but volatility is just the price you pay.
Exactly. It's your actions during volatility.
Yeah, and let's put it in this way: can you risk not to take part in this wealth the transformation?
Yeah, exactly. Can you risk like just is your job a better bet? Like, can you work for the next 3 years and come out a millionaire?
Yeah, like I'm working a paid job obviously right now because I'm not even close yet to financial freedom. I have debt to pay off and I need to grow my numbers obviously, but I think that will happen as I see it, to be conservative. And it feels weird to say it because I'm extremely conservative, but I really believe within the next 5 years. Just to use the stake rankings. If you're just being if you're a crab, I think you can actually be financial free if the numbers you need is 1 to 3 million,
right?
US dollars. I think you can reach that within the next 5 years.
Yeah,
especially 10.
Oh yeah.
Where can you do that? Where can you do that elsewhere?
Nowhere. It's the best performing asset class. Like, ever.
But you know, with the double, it's like, look. Everything you guys are talking
I forgot
about,
the double. Yeah,
dude, yeah. That's the crazy part. I find myself forgetting about how much we're actually getting right now. Like, people who get in after us really won't get it. It's like people who talk about big payday. I didn't get big payday, but this is gonna be what people talk about. Did you get the double? Did you get
Right.
the yeah? This is gonna be it.
It's like, yo, did you catch that?
Did you sacrifice?
Did you
Like,
sacrifice
that will
Dave?
actually make the new line of being an OG. You can talk about being an OG Hexagon day one. Yeah, and that's the legends. That's gonna be the legends. You talk about the living legends. But
the
I think
living
you're gonna get
legend.
the new OG will be. Did you get the double?
Yeah, man, that's oh my god. I got in day 3. Like it was and it was only because like a friend of mine was like bothering me about it. Like, yo, did you get in? Did you get in? Did you get in? I was just like, nah. Like, what is this thing? What do you want me to? All right, Richard Hart. I missed Hex. All right, I'll do it.
I got a poem for you guys that I just randomly wrote. It's for it's just I don't know. I guess it's for random people in your life. So it's pretty funny. It says, "You are awesome for what you are awesome for doing what you do. This is why I try to spoil you. Even though sometimes you're rotten, I know you're soft as cotton. I know you're a treasure. Sometimes a pleasure. No matter the weather, I hope your back feels better."
Nice, brother.
We needed that. I needed that today.
Man, we got so many people in the chat who I know want to talk about Hex, but because Mr. Orca here is in his hibernating phase, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of angry Hexicans down there, man. They want to talk about this shit.
I mean, but yo, like
I was about to say, is this a Orca space, making the price dump? What's going on, guys?
What's up with your voice, Mello?
Please turn your fucking voice
are you
thing
doing?
off, Mello.
My bad, bro. I forgot it was on. But what I was saying is, the Orca space is making the Hex price dump or what? What's going on? I know I'm not mad.
It up in here, man. We pumping it up in here.
Yeah, I'm not mad, but damn. Did y'all see the
like
sacrifice list?
Why you over here mentioning something that nobody else cares about? You hear us crying about the price? You care about the price.
We've only been hyping this right now. Bro.
Yeah, we hyping it up in here, bro.
So did y'all see the sacrificing list?
The OA thing or
the OA?
No, not the OA. The OA is only 18 billion, but there's been like 1.2 billion of Hex being sacrificed. Being sacrificed every 30 minutes or so, every 20 minutes, past 6 hours.
What?
49.4 billion.
Where?
Yeah, I think was from daughter addresses or something.
I don't know. Go look. They've been coming in for the past 6 hours. Or not,
hey,
8
man,
hours.
Elaborate, man. You can't come in here and just what?
Yeah.
So what am I elaborating? It's a public blockchain. You might as well go look at it.
Post something, man, and pin something up, bro.
So basically, look at. Oh man, let me go. So right now, in the wallet of the sacrificing address is $48 billion. For the past 8 hours, there's somebody with different addresses dropping 1.2 billion Hex into the sacrifice address.
Holy shit.
Are you kidding me, Mello? Or what?
And they've done it Hold on, let me count how many times it's been done before they stopped.
Bitcoin's price is also tanking.
This is the most bullish shit I've ever What happened? What?
It took a
Wait, what are they sacrificing into?
What is it, Mello?
It's really HEXORCA dumping it. He's like, I'm gonna make this shit pump. That's why we're all here. That's why he's pretending to be asleep right now.
So 1.2 billion, 1.3 billion, 1.2 billion, 1.3 billion. That's 4 so far. 1.3, that's 5. 1.2, that's 6. 1.2, that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. God damn. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. And they're all different addresses, dog. There's
Wait, for the same amount.
So basically 30 billion just got sacrificed 1 billion at a time. Oh, no more. 40 billion. What?
Into Pulse X or
Into Pulse X.
Yo, I think that might be the OA going in. I think that might be the daughters.
Yeah.
The daughters. So look.
Oh, the daughters.
Yeah.
With different accounts.
He recycled
because it wasn't done buying up
then he went
the
in
amount that it wanted to buy up.
Yeah. Famous called it.
Huh?
Famous said he was gonna go in again. Famous said this, bro.
Yeah, they said
I'm vouching
was
for
gonna
my
go
brother right here, man.
There were going to be more sacrifices because they're trying to buy up at least, what was it, like 89% of the supply.
So you're talking about the hex actual origin OA address,
right?
The actual OA.
Underlying addresses from the OA.
How many daughters is there? They haven't been. Nobody
it's
knows.
It's hundreds of daughter addresses.
Oh man, that's pretty bullish then, bro. But that's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh man, like he's flipping money crazy right now.
Famous called it yesterday. We was talking about this early in the morning. We was like, okay, he flipped the first batch of money, but is he gonna go in again with another 20%? He probably went in with another 40. So I want to hear somebody pull up the numbers, but Famous is the numbers guys, man. You know what I'm saying? Big
4K is putting up numbers right now. Hold on.
Yeah, this is bullish, man. This is wow. We're in here talking about how this is gonna change our lives, and then 6 hours deep, we're getting $1 billion sacrifices. This is crazy.
This is crazy right here. I don't know. I mean, I feel like all the Pulse OGs got like in a year. This is gonna be,
dude. But think of it like this: the higher we are when it comes to this buy and burn, and I'm not expecting anything, but right, the higher we are.
Hey, hold on, Cosmic, hold on. What's his name? CSC Gamer said that 18.6 billion was sacked last night. From so all that sacrifice was from Pulse sack address effectively.
Yeah, that 18 billion was from Pulse Chain, and then from Pulse Chain into a separate wallet.
Yeah,
exactly.
Hold
that's 40. He says it's not 40 billion. It's 18.6 billion. Two.
Okay, so that's considered going to be the XA, right? Or like the
the XA is basically the Pulse X address, XA.
And then now there's multiple addresses, like you guys said, I guess there's daughter addresses are putting in $1 billion. So that means those addresses will be getting some of the supply. And that is crazy. And I hope they don't sell it.
K4K is saying what the supply for Pulse X is looking to be like 120 trillion. And for fucking Pulse Chain, 127.
Why would I thought? Hold on. Why would I thought the reason why they're doing this is for Pulse X to have more supply than Pulse Chain.
That's what I'm. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so right now the total sacrifice for Pulse X is 48 billion.
Yeah, 48 billion.
The supply is gonna be close to maybe who?
That would make the 08 supply like 103 trillion or something.
Hold on, because it was 14 plus 15 billion for Pulse Chain total, and then it was 150 trillion for Pulse Chain estimate that they called out. Um,
Holy moly, bro!
it might be
This
around
is
five, maybe it might be one quadrillion. That would be
he's
nice
gonna
because the
do a
buyback.
sheave.
Say what?
Yeah, he's gonna do a little sheave like with the buy and burn.
Well, yeah, it is deflationary at that too.
Yeah.
Every transaction burns fucking.
Well,
What's the rate again?
that's what I was gonna say. Like the higher we start, the harder we're gonna crash down when it comes to like this deflationary aspect. Because a 1 quadrillion, dude. Imagine once that starts getting eaten.
Oh yeah, but that's good though because then
That sends the
it
price
won't
up.
be
Yeah.
like soon. It take a year maybe with like $1 billion volume
All right.
to actually
Well, that
burn.
depends.
Gamer said,
What if people want it though?
well,
That
Gamer
really
said,
depends.
hold on. Gamer said they sacked. He said it was 0.0002. He said this one was 0.009. Really, 0.00575 or so, but a 2.5 more than Pulse. So he's saying we sacked more than what you guys did for Pulse and Pulse X right now.
Who sacked more?
We sacked more in Pulse X than we did in Pulse.
Who's we?
Whoever sacked in Pulse X.
Yeah, the general facts coming out.
We put 2.5 more than Pulse. That's what Gamer is telling me. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Listen, I don't mind goddamn $1 billion sister addresses having some of the supply, man. It's pretty bullish as long as they don't sell it.
All right, hold on. So Gamer said, he said because Pulse sack on the final day was 0.002, which is 2 USD per 10,000. This is like 5.75 per 10,000, if I read that right. With a 1.75 multiplier. I don't know why he's telling me all this. I'm trying to relay it to you guys. I'm also going to apologize. I'm sorry if my poetry shit threw everybody off when I needed to just get it out because I felt like it was funny. And generally, you guys talk a lot of game theory and throws me off. So
No, that's too.
I try and come in here and throw y'all off too a bit just to be like, hey, man, reset your minds real quick. Reset your minds.
No,
you was about to get off. You was about to blow up on me just because what I said.
Nah, man, your fucking voice changer shit. I don't fucking do that shit. I hate when people come in with that shit. That's why you better turn that shit the fuck off. That's all. That's all. It wasn't any disrespectful. It's just don't come in here with that shit because that's how people think I'm gonna troll them, and I'm like, bro, I will shut that shit down in a heartbeat. Especially if I was co-host, man, I'd have been kicked you the fuck out. Just been like, don't do that again. So yeah, I'm sorry.
So you're gonna kick me out and then tell me don't do it again when I'm not in here?
Yeah, basically, yeah. No. Like I'll kick you out, then you'll be like, "Damn, why did he kick you out?" And then be like, you'll come back and be like, "Well, what happened?" I'll be like, "Well, you came in with that bullshit, so I showed you the bullshit." And That's all. It's a nice circle. No, it's all love because I don't wear the glove.
Cool. Wait, what sack rate did the OA get? That means it got a 5 times worse sack rate than like.
So they got it at the if they sacked yesterday, it was
2,005.
It was 2,100 for every dollar. So they got about $237 trillion. I'm sorry, 237 trillion tokens coming to that wallet, to the XA.
Huh.
So sacrifice. So I think the total supply is going to be. I feel like it's going to be 1 quadrillion because okay, so the OA or the XA sacrificed 18 billion, and then smaller. I guess you want to. I don't know what to call them. Smaller the beats. they sacrificed 1.3, 1.2, 1.3 billion. So that's gonna be around.
Yeah, but it's pushing the rate floor up higher though, because it's buying in all of this at such a it's buying it in at a higher price.
Which one? The 18 billion or all the 1.3 billions?
No, the 18.
The 18 happened yesterday. Everything else was happening, I think, after 7:00 yesterday. So it was 17 hours ago. That was really at the end of that rate at that dollar to 2,100 points. It went down. So a dollar was giving you 1,400 points based on the how to post chart that I have. 1, 2.
I think the sacrifice today is at the multiplier of 8.6 or something. So
yeah, I keep the dollar constant so it doesn't confuse people.
Yeah. Maybe someone mentioned it, but do we have some track of how much hexes has been sacrificed in total? Are we about 50% of all total hex in circulation now sacrificed?
CSC Gamer said yes.
That's freaking bullish. 50% of hex, almost 50% of hex has actually been sacrificed.
He said that's a good thing, I guess. 310 billion hex legs stack wallet.
Okay, so with some calculations that I've done with all the 1.3s, the supply is going to end up being close to 500 trillion. And plus, sacrifice is not even over. So we'll see what else this does. Because right now, bro.
And he says there's 0 in Pulse Sack wallet. So then, wouldn't this give info regarding which is going to be the incentive token? I know. We need famous up here. Fuck.
What do you guys think about the incentive token and all that?
What about it, man?
I feel like
have you given any thoughts to it?
We need Gamer and Future up here, and maybe Crypto King. And who else is in here right now? Hold on. We need the heads that like to fucking clash with each other to fucking argue this game theory shit. Orca, wake up!
But like the incentive token, when it comes to that,
he is up.
Hey, all right. Okay.
I struggle a bit like to understand the whole incentive token thing because I struggle to see where the value is. Do we know anything about it?
So the incentive token, right, is basically all right, I got you. So the incentive token is basically like, you know, we haven't figured out what the value is going to be. Like, we all know that we're going to receive it for providing liquidity. You can market buy it, but you also could take the incentive token and provide liquidity for that incentive token to gain more incentive token. But the value, I think he's gonna come up with something. Right now, there's a lot of theories going around. We got the Orca theory, we got the famous theory. Different things, man.
Because you understand what I mean. Because Hex, I'm buying that because of the store value. It can provide yield. And I'm buying Pulse Chain because it's obviously a network and you can build things on it. And I'm buying Pulse X because Pulse X, you can exchange. But I'm like right now, I don't see the end game for the incentive token and that's maybe also because I'm not that well familiar with the cake thing and the other cryptos where you can do the same thing basically. But what about if it would have been PHEX? Wouldn't that be awesome? Like you stake your Pulse X and the end game is actually you get PHEX as an incentive. Like the whole main goal for Richard, it seems to be Hex. So why wouldn't that be quite cool?
Hey man, that would be great, man. I mean, shoot. But the thing is with that,
you end the circle with PHEX.
Bring the price down if they sell it, though. He's saying
no, but
do that they sell it.
But Hex, you don't want to sell your Hex. You want to stake it like the rest of your Hex.
The thing is, people are gaining the incentive token because of the impermanent loss that they could receive. They possibly could hit on their per liquidity providing, and with the PHEX, with the smart contract, with the way it works, you're going to have to ramp up its velocity to actually mint a lot more tokens, and adding a smart contract to an liquidity incentive is just, I don't see it happening. And the mint rate of Hex is through T-shares. So I don't know, you're going to have to incorporate that. And then I don't know, possibly, right, he might try to time lock it, right? Like say you can't withdraw your incentive token until a week from now, or every week, or every month. He might be like, hey, there's a time where you can pull out your incentive token, and at that time is where you can sell it. But until then, and especially everybody's going to have different times. So not everybody's going to be unlocking their incentive token at the same time. And then I know single staking asset, he hasn't said too much about it. But just like Cake, it's all a downhill though. Like at the end of the day, if they don't create a way to actually someone to incentivize them to hold the incentive token, then it's still just going to be a constant. I feel like it might just be an up and down trend with the incentive token.
All right.
Yeah,
So
I
wait.
agree. Because
Gamer said
oh
this.
yes, sir.
Gamer said that's why he said you don't distribute PLS or Hex or PLSX because that as an incentive ruins the price. So the other token is going to have either have game theory or just be a token. I don't understand all that, so I'm just reading what he's saying.
Post it in the top. Post it in the top so we can all see it.
Hey guys, can I have some clarification? I joined this group probably about middle ways not too long ago. I probably missed it, but all of the hex that's being sacrificed. Can I have some clarification? What is that hex going to do? Is it going to be staked or is it going to be burned? You know, taken out of the circulating supply. Does anybody know what that's going to do?
The quick answer would be to have no expectations. A lot of people have questioned what would happen with it, but we all have no clue. You know, that's money we've all never seen. So,
yeah, there's generally no expectations, but the burning mechanism is in effect and can be observed. For example, when you stake, there's a burn of that hex for that commitment. That's the contract, and then in turn, when that contract comes due, you then mint your hex back. So that's part of the system.
No,
Okay.
he's saying there's no burn. Gamer's saying there's no burn for it. I think everybody's having a misconception of what it is right now. He's gonna find a video and post it for us. So like he's gonna just find the Richard Hart video and share it. So yeah.
I mean, just think, even if it was staked, that much hex that was sacrificed, if it was taken out of circulating supply, just imagine the scarce of it. You know, the big pump that we will see out of that.
well, it's not circulating. It's in wallets.
It has never been sold.
Yeah, it's definitely not circulating. It's being moved, but not sold.
Only moved to daughter addresses and used for sacrificing, but other than that, it hasn't moved at all. Yeah.
Everyone
I need to
wondered.
go, but I wanted to thank you guys for the great chat and the brainstorming and the insights. Thank you very much. And goodbye.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, man. That's crazy though, man. I don't know. I've never been in a community that's so driven on game theory. Like, bro, these OG Hexicans be, bro, y'all be coming up with a whole bunch of shit.
You gotta be. I feel like the whole game is just, you know, this whole thing is a game. So like, you gotta have, you know what I mean, the map. You gotta have the blueprint. You gotta look at this thing bigger than where everyone else is, because it's like.
Yeah, thanks for saying that, because people
See the
think we're
market.
in this and we're just hoping and praying or wishing
Nah,
or riding the coattail of Richard Hart. Heck no. We are definitely putting in the work and strategizing.
yeah.
I know. Okay, so strategizing on what to do after it comes out is one thing. Just guessing on what should happen and what could happen is a different. So now if we was to be like, hey, when it comes out, ... like this is the routes that, you know, but nobody's gonna talk about that. No one's gonna talk about the route they want to take. Everybody's just trying to get a feel about, okay, what's the next man doing?
I'm just not.
What do they think?
My route is to not sell for the first 2 years, and then I'll think about it, because like I feel like, all right, if you sacked within the first 5 days and you put up $1,000, that's like 10 million pulse. I don't, like, this thing hits 10 cents, you're already like at $1 million. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think we're going straight to 10, but like, I don't like, you got to compare it to other chains. You know what I mean? Like, if AVAX can do what it did, if BSC can do what it did, you know, like, those things aren't trading in the cents anymore. If Sol can be at, you know, over $180, or, I mean, it's probably down right now, but like, look at the highs on those things. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just holding.
Dude,
like, I think a lot of people are gonna get wrecked playing around too.
Yeah, but dude, look, you can delegate, man. Like, you take that 10 million pulse, you just hold that for 10 years, man, and you eat off the delegation, man.
That's exactly. Yeah.
I mean, people got to really think about this. This is deeper than, you know what I'm saying? I sacked, I get money, 2 years later, I get rich. This is like, dude, you can feed yourself for
forever.
Generations. Generations. Yeah.
Yeah, like you could have a generational, you know what I mean? Like the family fucking pulse delegation that fucking has been feeding this family for 4 generations and shit. Like,
now, let's speak on delegation.
I'm gonna step down in case someone else wants to talk.
Let's talk about it.
So to talk about delegation, right? Boom. Now delegation works is just like a pool. The more people that the more people that delegate, the percentage or the APY goes down. So with 33 validators, I hope the validators give good percentages, and you know, everybody's saying, "Oh, you can delegate," and then you got new people that's trying to create passive income to delegate as well. Because I remember when Binance started the delegation thing, it wasn't too many people knowing about it, and there was a lot of people not teaching people about it or even telling people about it, because with more people doing it, it takes away from the pool. And I understand that. We're all here to create passive income, and that is why this DeFi space is huge. There's a lot of things, a lot of ways to create passive income, and I hope Pulse X comes out with some good passive income mechanisms, so we could just stay in the central place. We don't have to go outside of the ecosystem to actually do it. But
I think that's what
delegation is.
I think that's what that more token thing is.
I don't even know. I heard about it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be
their website just says more to come. Like,
because it's Trevon, like that dude, like he's all about fucking just milking those DeFi systems and shit. Like I think he just wants to make one on that network that works crazy. I think the incentive token is going to be something like that too, where it's just something that's just like generating traffic. Like we got to all remember too, like Pulse itself is deflationary, and every fucking transaction on there is going to trigger that. Like that's fucking crazy. So let all these coins come. Let them all like I don't think every one of them is like part of the plan, but like, ETH is as successful as it is because of all these ERC20s, and a lot of them are garbage, but you feeding the network. Is anyone going to
just chill, relax, get the allocations, see what the market does, chill out, and then, get your gains, go buy some HEX and stake it. Like, that's it really. Like, just recycling it And then if you want to invest into these shit coins or altcoins, however y'all want to call them, go ahead, get your little 100x, get your little 10x's, but be careful. What's up, Mando?
I'm just listening in like little Jaybird, man.
How you been, man? You been gone, MIA. You chilling on the beach somewhere?
Hey, 8 months in the Pulse Chain chat. Needed a break, brother. Needed a break. And I like talking about things when there's updates and new things to talk about. But I will say this. Richard Hart products are Richard Hart products. Anything else is just going to be untested. I personally decided not to go into any of these other sacrifices and any of these other things just for specific reasons, not because I don't like Gerardo or the guys over at LL or any of these other things. But we definitely want as many protocols on Pulse Chain as possible. We can't be maxis, can't be maxis in that sense. I mean, Pulse Chain's an L1. So it's really funny to think that we're just going to sit here and launch a brand new top of the line L1 and just be, Mr. Maxi all day long. But in terms of, the conversations that have been popping up in the community and stuff like this, dividing people and stuff like this, it's all just trash, man. I mean, we got to get all past that stuff. I mean, you can't launch a layer one and not expect for savvy community people to launch things that they're passionate about. But with that said, I think that a lot of these things are going to have massive sell-offs when they launch. If you look at what they do and you look at those like-kind protocols, they generally launch. I don't think that you're going to see Richard Hart pumpamentals on a lot of these things. And then as far as the Moore token and all these different things, you got to be out of your mind to get into these things until they legitimately prove themselves out. And that's not being a maxi on anything. That's just, your money in a protocol that's unproven.
It's just being smart.
Versus, just being in, for a fact, Richard and the team is doing it right. It just doesn't make any sense. You got a bunch of people siphoning off. Here's my thing. Richard built this thing. Richard built Hex with his team. Richard built this community single-handedly, and then is launching Pulse Chain, right? And then inside of the community, you have a lot of people now that are doing their own thing, which is totally good and it's totally fine. And we sacrifice for freedom of speech and freedom of everything, just being free, period. So let's not hate on people who are wanting to be free. You have the ability to do what you want, to go where you want with your money. Nobody signed up for Hex to be told what to do with their money and what not to do with their money, and then to be scolded if they do something that somebody else doesn't like with their money. That's not crypto, right?
Amen.
So the main thing, though, is let's keep our eye on the prize and not go after all these fucking dangling carrots that haven't proven shit to anybody. It just doesn't make any sense. So I'm not sacrificing for anything other than RH products. I mean, he essentially designed and created the, in quotes, sacrifice, right? Now we see him popping up all over the place, not even just within our own community, but, there's sacrifices happening now outside of the community. So Richard just creates trends all day long. He creates things that other people haven't, a bunch of people that just basically follow on the back of his shirt tails, right? That just means that you probably want to start off with RH and stick with RH. So I'm excited for Pulse, but I was going to do some sacrificing on these other community things, but then the way that it happened, not that it couldn't happen one way or the other, but the way that it happened, the timing of the launches, to me, I'll be honest, if I was somebody building, if I was part of RH's community and I was somebody that was building, I probably would have launched it prior to an RH sacrifice set or after one, not during one, right? That's just me. I would have waited just out of like, hey, let's not launch our thing when Richard is still doing a sacrifice set. But that said, that's just me, and I don't hate on anybody. But I do just want to say this as somebody who's been here from day one, guys. Let's just put aside all of our BS about what we think somebody ought to do, because this is all about being free. This is all about people doing whatever the hell they want to do in crypto. And for me, I see, is K for K on here? I just wanted to say K for K. I love you, brother. I watch you. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the time you put into all that market analysis and all that math. I really, really do. So the back and forth on Twitter, I just want you to know that you're very much appreciated to me in the community. I know you take a lot of shit because there's Pulse Chain maxis now, and then there's Hex maxis, and then there's Pulse X maxis. It's just funny as hell. But let's just be a community that just loves each other, has each other's back, treats other people outside of the community with dignity and respect, because we need people to come to the chain and not feel like they have to be in some cult to come over. That's just what I wanted to say.
Well said, bro.
Fact.
Well said.
Yeah, indeed. Build it, and they will come.
Exactly.
And when
let
they come, and when they come, it's important that we are there to actually help them on board as easily as possible. That's the main thing I have observed so far. That's the important thing we can do so far. Because I remember when I first started all this, it was a lot of uncertainty in my experience, and if it wasn't for my best friend who helped me got in and already knew all the steps in the process, I wouldn't probably have got in at the time, which was a very good time. So yeah, the timing and the support is just very important in order to make people actually get access to this, if it's Hex or Pulse-Chain or whatever. Yeah, because there's still not so much.
There isn't another community. There isn't another community in crypto that has the processes and the people to help onboard them into the ecosystem like this one. I mean, we literally have professionals in the chats 24/7 onboarding people, professional, like corporate level support. Like, you could be paying people for this type of support, right? You don't see that out there in crypto.
Yeah. I want to chime in on that. 3 years worth of this chat stuff on Telegram before it was even Bitcoin Hex, before there was a logo. And like you just said something about professionals in there. Professionals have been in there since day one. Developers, people that were already in crypto, people that were just looking at crypto, but they were already in tech, people that were in startups. That was me. I was in cardiology at the time. I was interested in startup culture, and that brought me into the space. And that amount of value of a call center, effectively, of people staffed for 3 years across 6 Telegram channels, that's amazing. I'm sorry about the directions. Hang on a second. Sorry, I was doing the navigation stuff. But it's incredible, the value of the voluntarism when it comes down to the dollar value that's been invested from the community. And that's just voice chat, Twitter, army, whatever you want to call it, enthusiasts that have no actual direct profit from doing so. They simply like to educate other people. They feel like they have value that they can add to the system. And that tsunami of value will be realized because, everything else has been, in crypto, has been, based on a single product or maybe a single leader like Satoshi in Bitcoin or Vitalik in Ethereum, or even Uniswap and Hayden, single product kinds of things. And those tend to be different than like an Elon Musk. And Elon Musk, you bet on the founder because you feel the product will hold values that the founder has, more so than just the IP or the innovation or the invention of the particular product mode. So it's very interesting that we're in a crypto, yes, that has this hex narrative of delayed gratification and this blockchain CD narrative, and the Lindy effect of, the longer that has gone on and been successful and shown yield, then that trend of how it worked out before relays over to Pulse Chain. It relays over to the Pulse X. It relays over to, the values that Richard has espoused for, 3 years publicly, 5 years as far as his self-improvement kinds of content. So it's really amazing that we have, not to put him on too much of a platform, but basically he builds products based on values, and his products outperform his individual ego. So very excited to be in not just Hex, and I'm not a Hex maxi, I'm not a Pulse Chain maxi, I'm not a Pulse X maxi. I just feel like those products live up to the values that Richard's been talking about for quite some time.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt real quick. Just because Funding Jim, you mentioned Pulse, like the Pulse chain. I forgot to write this in, but I wanted to share this again. I'm sorry, this is another poem that I randomly wrote, so I thought it was funny as shit for you guys. So it says, join this community for the knowledge, even while I went to college. I gave up sex all for Pulse X, not knowing that I needed some hex. Found out I was in trouble because I was living in this bubble. I'm not worried because it'll double.
That was hard. That was hard. Go ahead, Mando.
No, I'm good. I'm good, man.
Oh, your hand is up. Before Keith, I just wanted to say, like, so I think touching on what Mando was saying and what Funding is saying, yeah, the ego, outweighed, or the product outweighed his ego. But thing is, with this community, Mando as well, it's like there's a lot of people, yeah, that have this professionalism and have this knowledge, but then take it to the extreme. And now that we have separate, now that we have new tokens or new whatever protocols, whatever, there will be an open. It's open for new people to come in, do what they got to do, but now they're doing it within that community. Now, of course, they're going to need Pulse Chain to interact with the network, but then I've seen communities go from, I've seen people that was for day one of Binance and then create a community, and then I talk about cake and get banned. You get what I'm saying? Because which I don't understand. It's all the same ecosystem, but it happens. And I feel like there's a lot of people taking their ego to the extreme. Like, there's a lot of people that take their knowledge and think that they're the only one that knows it, and then the way they give it, it comes off, it comes off like it just comes off negative. Like they're and they come into these chats, they want to say, hey, they become an admin or whatever, or become a voice of the community, and then they go do their own thing, and then use their voice to actually gain traction on their specific case. So it's like very guerrilla marketing, if you want to call it, and I see a lot of that going around, and I'm gonna keep seeing it, and it's gonna keep happening. Um, I wish, this is just real life too. I wish everybody can come together, all human beings, but we can't. Everybody's gonna have their say so in everything. But I hope when I saw about Hex community, forget about anything else. the Hex community was so strong and solid until Pulse Chain came out, until all these other tokens came out. Now Hex just became a product that you use to actually, just gain yield. Like it's a CD now. It is what it is now. It's going to be used for what the name is, and now there's other things to go on. But that's just my 2 cents how I feel about that.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the Telegram room for Hex, it's about 1/2 of the population of the Telegram room for Pulse Chain. If you look at the narrative of marketing for Pulse Chain, it has been save your ass from transaction costs on Ethereum. You like Ethereum, you love Ethereum, you're doing things on Ethereum, you like NFTs, you like these things that are 22% of the network cost. Here is an alternative. So the Pulse Chain population, at least half of it, isn't in the Hex Telegram rooms, and the Pulse Chain commentators, whether it's public or not, as far as the influencers of BitBoy or Carl the Moon or Ivan on Tech, they haven't publicly said that they are Hex holders, but they have publicly said that they are Pulse Chain holders. So it's very interesting that you do have this community, this core value. You do have this cypherpunk movement, kind of like how Bitcoin started. Here are the principles. The principles are you should be able to do a peer-to-peer transaction. You should be able to have a store of value narrative about a network or about a smart contract riding on a network. That's what Hex has been. People that were public early in 19 and 2021, they were typically entrepreneurs already. They were already business owners. They'd already had some levels of success, most of them, before they became YouTube commentators about Hex. And that's not the same thing that I see in Pulse Chain. You see Hexicans, people that have Hex, that already have been doing this for a couple of years, also talking about Pulse Chain. But I don't see Pulse Chain maxis. As far as like the public space, I see them all say, "Hey, I was in Hex too, and I'm more excited about Pulse Chain at the moment, so I'm going to start creating content about it." It is not, it's almost like saying you are American, but one lives in New York and one lives in LA. They're just different ends of the same kind of realm. Although the cultures are different from those two sides of the same country. That's just kind of the way I feel about it. I think that half the population that's in Pulse Chain is in it because they like Ethereum and they see a better transaction cost, maybe a speedier network. Maybe they have this doubling of their bag mentality, because that's honestly what Richard has promoted for the past year. It hasn't been Pulse Chain as a epiphany product that he wanted to bring to market after watching the DeFi space. It was the being forced to greatness kind of scenario, because if Ethereum S load was not 12x more expensive to actually use it as a computer the way that Hex does, then probably Pulse Chain wouldn't exist.
Right, but Richard said, Jim, that Pulse and Hex have nothing in common with one another, right? And when he was talking about the potential for Hexicans, Hex holders, to get some kind of a benefit for Pulse Chain, he just was like, yeah, that's not a good idea. We don't want those things to be like conflicting with one another in terms of connecting the two. But it's obvious when you launch a L1 like Pulse that you're going to have a ton of shit that's built on the chain from inside of the community. I mean, that you would absolutely, if you pulled, will this happen once this launches? It's 100%. Of course it's going to happen, right? So what we're seeing is very normal and was expected. It was probable that it was going to happen, especially when you have RH launching other things, other tokens. It's like, you can be a maxi all you want, but when the same gentleman launches 2, 3, 4 other tokens, well, okay, now you've got 4 tokens within the same community, all from RH. So I think that it's just a growing pains. going from just 100% hex, which is amazing and phenomenal. It's going to be awesome into the future. And then seeing all these other things, these kind of lower hanging fruits hanging off the tree, these kind of carrots dangling. Everybody wants a piece, right? I just don't think that we should be dividing over them. You know, Jesus said a kingdom divided against itself can't stand. I just think that we should just let everybody just be free, enjoy the freedom of the chain, because Richard's building a chain that's really going to give us freedom, and just support each other instead of, you know, getting all upset and hating on each other. It just doesn't make any sense to do that. And honestly, none of it can derive a net positive outcome, right? Like, none of us have the potential to honestly, over a Twitter space or tweeting back and forth negative things to one another, to make things better based on whatever narrative you're sitting on, right? So I just think that the community is going through a little bit of a growing pain. We need to just learn from it, realize that thousands and thousands of more people are going to come over to Pulse, and they're going to enjoy Hex, they're going to enjoy PulseX, they're going to enjoy Pulse Chain and anything else, and they're going to build all kinds of cool shit from within the community and without. And Hex is our version of Bitcoin. It's just a better version of Bitcoin. It's going to continue to grow, and we ought to just be supportive of everybody.
Hundred percent. Like that's the dream, right? That's the goal. That's where everybody wants to see happen. Hoping, you know, no one's testosterone levels go out the roof while they while they go into this ecosystem and build. I'm 100% for it. Build. Go ahead. You want to see it done? Do it yourself. What, like how he said. And you know, we just need to be one as an ecosystem and don't hate. Like, sorry, not as an ecosystem. As human beings, we do not need to be hating on each one another. One might know more than you, but that doesn't mean he might not know He might not know something you don't. You get what I'm saying? So, like, everybody here has a unique way of showing their inside and, you know, expressing their knowledge. Um, you know, if they want to build a token, they build in a token. If it hurts the community, I personally, I'm definitely going to try to stop it as much as possible. I will speak up on it. I don't care if people cuss me out. It is what it is. If it hurts the community, and when I say community, I mean post chain ecosystem. Um, you know, then I will say something about it. But hey, you know, to each its own. I just hope that those in power, or those in power and those in that have the knowledge, just can teach and provide the knowledge without gloating. Yo, Keith, you had your hand up.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? How's everyone doing?
What's going on?
Keith?
What's up? What's up? Hey, so funding. I wanted to go back to something you said a little bit ago about volunteerism and support within the community, and I want to get your opinion on something, kind of see what your thoughts are. But you know, my whole journey with this thing started last year, and I got into Hex, and I don't know, around April, and didn't really know what I was doing. I just, you know, kind of figured it out, and you know, then Pulse Chain came around. Then I got into these Facebook groups, and then I found Telegram, and I proceeded to spend, I don't know, 8 hours a day and night, like late night in these Telegram rooms, just listening, just writing down, listening, learning. And I couldn't agree more that the level of support within the community has been incredible. I mean, guys like Mando hanging out in the chat rooms, just inspiring everyone, you know, melting brains with game theory. Same thing with Orca. And that's kind of where I started. And especially when Papa Boner was in the room and, you know, yelled at me back in, I don't know, October about doing crypto on my phone and getting me on Trezors. And, you know, I went down this rabbit hole of OPSEC. And so, I mean, up to now at this point, I've probably clocked 1,000 hours of just DYOR, chat rooms, now these Twitter spaces, which have really started to kind of take off. And, you know, we've got a lot of guys that get in these spaces every single day. Guys like, you know, Sean, famous, hosting every day. Hex is the Ways in there, Mad Hatter, Jay Future, you know, myself. We all, you know, join in these spaces. We welcome people to the mic. And a lot of people ask questions. They get the best answers. And, you know, I've personally seen, you know, I've got these DMs that come into my, you know, inbox and, oh, thank you so much. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go there. Send them the Trezor.io website. You know, I'm very interested in supporting, you know, and bringing in new, you know, no coiners, newbies, whatever, teaching them the best OPSEC from the beginning, making sure that they're using hardware wallets, that sort of thing. And, you know, my only thing is I don't have the time just yet because I still work a full-time corporate sales gig. So it's kind of difficult for me to, you know, spend my entirety of my day and night in the rooms and spaces. But soon, hopefully in the near future, you know, I'll have that kind of flexibility again, to be able to, you know, divert my time towards, you know, instructing, educating, whatever. So, Funding Jim, my question for you is, I created something, and this is still brand new in its infancy stage. I just secured a Twitter handle, but I'm calling it the Hexagon Hotline. And the phone number I want to use is like a 1-800-439, which is HEX, 1-800-HEX-5555. And I thought it might be beneficial to have like a call center. So like if a new person, new on board, has questions or they don't know what to do or where to go, you know, they can actually call somebody and speak with, you know, a live person, like an actual real Hexagon. This would be me answering the phone and helping them, you know, walk through everything from where to go, where to start, what is Hex, what is Pulse, what is PulseX, what's a hardware wallet, you know, importance of OPSEC. And so my thought process was like, okay, and Orca brought up a good point about trying to prevent, like, you know, the spam bots and the scammers and that sort of thing. But like if we had like a way to route people, you know, press 1 for Hex, press 2 for Pulse, press 3 for PulseX, 4 for security or hardware wallets or whatever. And, you know, be able to actually field calls and talk to people as a, you know, a true like live chat, live support. Of course, this would be totally free. This would just be me doing this with my free time, trying to help, you know, grow the community. Of course, this isn't necessarily like bringing in whales into the ecosystem, but just general, you know, questions, concerns, issues. I mean, it can be something like, oh, I don't feel, you know, if you need some kind of, if you just need someone to talk to, you know, that's the kind of like ideas that we've got this like Hexagon hotline where anyone, you know, in the Richard Heart ecosystem can, and this is again, solely only for Richard Heart ecosystems. This is not going to have any third party projects. It's not going to have anything else. This is only going to be onboarding into the Richard Heart ecosystem. So, you know, something that, like I said, I just secured the Twitter handle. I don't have any kind of website. I don't even have the phone number yet, but it's just kind of something that I'm like, I want to do. And I just figured I'd kind of get your feedback on it. You know, what you thought maybe having like a real live chat or like a, you know, hotline to speak with somebody who can kind of guide you and walk you through, you know, your journey into the ecosystem. So just kind of wanted to get your thoughts and general feedback on something like that, if it'd be beneficial.
So the feedback I have is that this is the tragedy of the commons. Tragedy of the commons is that you will spend capital, you will spend labor, you will spend mind space that is opportunity cost for you to build something else, right? Because you have a sense of volunteerism. Many of us inside of Hex have a sense of volunteerism. That's why these rooms are filled with people that are giving of their time, their mind space, if not their money, right, to this cause. I'll use an example. The Crypto Sparbot guys, the German guys, the Austrian guys, they've gone 42 cities. They've gone 18,000 miles. I'm driving right now the R8 from San Antonio, where I picked it up, to deliver it to Phoenix, Arizona, because they needed to go back and renew their visa, their big travel visa. And during that time frame, I'm relocating the car. So as I'm speaking, I'm going cross country, and I'm volunteering. There's no cost, there's no expense. However, those guys, they have an entourage of around 10 people total. That's an Airbnb that hosts 10 people every time. That's 3 vehicles. 18,000 miles times 3 vehicles times miles per gallon or expense. That's overhead, right? Where does that come from? That comes from them spending down their bags, right? That's them taking their capital, their money, and putting it toward what they think is a greater cause of onboarding people, right? The general public, referrals. Hey, we're going to be in San Antonio. We're going to be in Charleston, South Carolina. We're going to be in New York City. We're going to be in Chicago, right? So you've seen this play out over the past 6 months. And I think that the number is around $400,000 that they've spent in 6 months. And what's that opportunity cost to an entrepreneur? That's expensive, right? They're relatively young guys. This is where they can make their mark when it comes to building a product, service, company, things like that. So they were asking the other day, because they've only got 3 more sites, I think, before their tour is complete. And I think it culminates in Las Vegas. Anyway, they were saying, hey, does anybody else want to pick up this mantle? Anybody want to take these cars and continue this road tour situation, right? And my best advice is you need to, and again, some people are going to not like this for whatever reason. They're going to not like what I'm going to say. They need to actually build a business, and it needs to be a business that has little to do with, sell down of their crypto, and a lot to do with advocating their crypto, which is Hex. It's a Hex car, and Pulse Chain. Another car is a Pulse Chain car. Anyways, so what I'm getting at is, why haven't they struck a deal with the local car dealership that sells high-end cars? Because it seems like a lot of people like high-end cars, and they probably will spend their gains or their yield or the things that they already plan to consume, a nice house, that's a real estate market. There's all kinds of marketing that can be synergized and actually pay for the tour versus spending down their capital. And you're talking about having a call center. I think that's a great idea. I think it's excellent. It really relatively low cost if it's a single man operation. Yeah, but you can automate a lot. There's a ton of phone tree kinds of stuff. Like you can go to grasshopper.com, I think, and you can get a 1-800 number, and it might be that number you just talked about. And you can set up a phone tree, and it will roll over, like you just said, hey, press 1 for this. And maybe you get an automatic message that is a voice message that you've generated. Hey, did you know that the Telegram room can educate you because they have a live pulse conversation almost all the time, right? Hit this button for help, whatever it is, right? But I don't think that should be your expense. I think that it should be a entrepreneurial endeavor that has a profit for your time and has a profit for the structuring that you're going to put together, which is a car dealership, a realtor brand, Coldwell Banker, Wells Fargo. Even if it's a bank, they have products that they sell like mortgages. And there's a whole glut of people interested in real estate at this moment. Everyone in a superinflating and hyperinflating economy is looking for something to store value, whether it's diesel pickup trucks. I know people that have $400,000 worth of pickup trucks in warehouses, and they're like $7,000 trucks just because they want to hold against inflation. They know that the Rust Belt's going to rust out the truck, and they know that there's a market to basically have a margin even in inflation. So you can build a call center that has non-competing products that crypto people that do eventually have gain will spend their gain on, right? And you can synergize those things. Say, hey, it's a win-win. I'm advertising, I'm marketing, I'm bringing people into the fold, I'm educating, I'm doing it either through automatic technology kinds of products, to give them a walkthrough kinds of narrative, or you do other things. Again, I think that the community would help to advertise your call center if you're a public figure, if you're someone that's, hey, I'm on the YouTube with Discourse Syndicate and with Cabano Crypto Trivia Night, and I did this collaboration interview with My Life is Awesome or Crypto Heartbeat, right? So when you have the advocation by these people that know your intention and you're relatively public, right, you're going to have to give up some anonymity to run a business, in my opinion. But you have a lot of free advertising, free support for something that still generates yield and product and profit for you to put your own savings into the product you believe in, right? So I don't think it should just be volunteerism. I don't think it should be spin down. I don't think it should be hair pulling effort for you to onboard the average pleb that's just going to waste your time. Like 85% of your time will be wasted on people who will never buy the product. It's just Pareto's rule. So I think you should build a business if you're going to do so. Form an LLC, get it to where it's financed by other people that is not selling down the crypto product you believe in. But I think that's the best path, and that's what I'm telling the Crypto Sparbot guys. But that's kind of the same answer for anybody that's interested in volunteerism: is find a synergistic win-win situation. Richard did. Richard does. Why don't we?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I agree. And again, like I said, this is something that it's in an extreme infancy stage. I wouldn't even have the personal time just yet to spend towards something like that. But with the amount of time being spent in the Twitter spaces and just the success that I've seen personally, being in these spaces since very early January, and getting these DMs and hearing from these folks that are just like, wow, appreciate that, the way you worded that, or, oh, thank you so much, I didn't know about the security and this, that, and I know that, like, I'm the type of person that I like to, like, talk to somebody about whatever I'm interested in. If I want help with something or researching something, that's why I spent so much time in the Telegram rooms, and then now these Twitter spaces, because I wanted to talk to people, ask my questions, like, have somebody explain it to me. So I see there being a need for that. And I agree. Ideally it would be a for-profit venture at some point, but I do want to keep it that type of, I don't want people to have to pay, to get education or pay to get, recommendations on best practices. I feel that, that should be free alpha, right? Because I don't want to take their money. I want their money going directly into the ecosystem. I don't want, because I've had people that are, oh, can I just send you a couple thousand? You can put it in for me. I'm like, no, you're missing the whole point. That's counterparty risk. I don't want your money. You shouldn't trust anyone with your money. The end game here is go right onto the blockchain. You are a user interacting with the smart contract on the blockchain itself. There should be no middleman, and people don't know what they're doing. And, I didn't know what I was doing. I made some OPSEC mistakes early on. But, I had that person, Papa, who yelled at me and made me, like, totally, like, shook me up, because I was like, oh, I gotta get my ass in gear here. I gotta get this right. I, went down this rabbit hole, and, and so, but if it weren't for those people telling me, what to do and advising me on my questions, then I would not be where I am today. So I guess that was just kind of the overall idea, at least initially, was to kind of offer as a free, education hotline, help desk, whatever you want to call it. Just thought it might be beneficial out there. But.
Yeah, Keith, you got it. You got it from the Telegram, right?
Yeah, most of it. Yeah. And
right.
then, pretty much all of it, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So I agree with Funny Jim. I mean, the amount of hours that everyone's putting in from that volunteerism is amazing, and it's super commendable. But we all have families. We all got mortgages. We've all got kids, and some of us don't. And time is super valuable. I think everybody would agree, right? So the community has put together amazing things to help newbies, like How To Pulse, like the Telegram groups, where there's trusted individuals that like how you met Papa, how you met me, And I think as long as those things are in place, we can just direct people to the information. You said you don't want to charge anybody for education. I completely disagree. I mean, you've got to either spend time in the market getting your education, which should cost time is money, or where in the world do you go to get an education you don't have to pay anything for unless you have some kind of a scholarship, right?
YouTube videos from Richard Hart.
Well, there you go. There you go. But, you know, Richard's not in the trenches walking people through how to get onboarded all the way on through for the most part, like for a newbie, right? I mean, it's a one-on-one kind of deal.
Yeah. Right. It takes time. Yeah. Each individual. Right.
So I'm just saying, I agree with Jim in that sense, but I think that we do have some really great things to help people get onboarded as long as they're comfortable with the process for now. But I will tell you this, if you set up a hotline like that, the thing is you've got to actually be there, right?
Right.
And like, good luck with that. Like, when are you going to have time to be there? Unless you're just a single dude and you're ready to just, you got to have hours of operation. Are you going to have, are you going to make anything from it, from your time? Because you could be doing other things to onboard people much faster than sitting there doing something like that when there's already things in place really to help newbies onboard. We've been doing it now for, almost a year. That's just my.
Yeah, no, I agree. I guess I'm just coming at it from an angle of like, I already have chosen to spend a significant portion of my personal time. Not so much during the day. I mean, I have been in the Twitter spaces during the day. Certain days I'm in there all day, but like, if you like, I don't know, like Sean and Mello, like famous, they've seen me, and we've all kind of been in these spaces from, I don't know, the hours of like 7 p.m. till 5 a.m. on average since early January. I even had to like start taking breaks and like cutting back because I like was losing sleep over it. But this is more about just like, hey, this is something I wanted to do with my personal time, the extra time that I do have, which, let's be real, I'm not married, I don't have any kids, so I work a job, and I've got a girlfriend, but she's also busy doing her own thing, and she's running and gunning on her own. So I've got that time, and I would have more time if I didn't necessarily have to work a corporate sales gig. Let's say, like I said, best case in the future, there's a certain dollar number, or actually it's pennies, in either of the, Pulse or Pulse X that would allow me to, okay, take a step back and say, now I don't necessarily need this, quote unquote paycheck or commission check as much as I did previously. And so I can reallocate my time on a daily basis, which again, I'm not somebody who just wants to sit around. I think, I don't know who said this recently. I think maybe Crypto Kool-Aid said it. He's like, look, are you going to be someone that is going to, go eat potato chips on the beach and just kick back and, sit on their money, or are they going to get off their ass and go and do something for the community, or, start a business or something, right? So, that's just kind of like my mindset of like, yes, I would have the time, and I would gladly be willing to spend my entire day and evening just on the phone, either onboarding, educating, helping in any way. Sure, is my time valuable? Like, absolutely is. I have an hourly rate. If you break down my commission and my salary, I have an hourly rate. For what I do is I sell to C-level, so I work with CFOs, CEOs all day, and I know buyer profiles. I know how to work those kind of like larger end clients. But that can translate over very well into, onboarding any user from any background, from any jurisdiction. Well, okay, maybe not. I'm not the expert on any other jurisdictions. Let me clarify that. But, whether you're you got a couple $100 and you're just getting started, or if you're a freaking, dolphin or a shark or even a whale, and you just want to, have a conversation with somebody on, what is this pulse chain? What is Hex? How do I get going? Because there is a lot of information out there with the Telegram and these websites and everything, but there's so much of it, and it's all over the place, right? And I feel like if I put myself into a new person's shoes who doesn't know anything about crypto, doesn't know anything about Richard Hart, maybe I don't have the time to go and spend, watching every single Richard Hart video from the beginning. Maybe I don't have time to spend 8 to 10 hours a day in the Telegram chats. Maybe I'm too scared to raise my hand in the Telegram chats, right? Maybe I'm not comfortable in an open public forum. So I have a very strong feeling that there is a niche out there, or a group of people that, like, maybe it's privacy, maybe it's just a lack of confidence, whatever, that they just don't want to speak up in a public forum. And there is no way, there's no real like email support, or there's no like, you know what I mean? Like there's no customer support or service, or, a go-to, shop for, general education, information, onboarding, best practices, that sort of thing. So, this is, again, like I said, something that's in its early infancy stages. It's just like I took the whole, okay, I'm spending all this time in Twitter Spaces helping people with security, and the ecosystem overall. Why not, have a call center, a landing, one place to go, a phone number, call somebody. Yeah, look, it's going to take a lot of time, and I don't think from a financial aspect it would take too much. Just having a Grasshopper 1-800 number, and I could run it out of my house. Like I could do, there are guys that I know that live off crypto yield, right? And I understand what you're saying, Funding, about not having to sell your bags, and I totally understand that. But I think the flexibility, and availability of my time will be there in the future, because of these gains, right? So again, it's just a matter of reallocating my personal time into something that I think would benefit others, because I always hear people saying, "Oh, I just got my MetaMask and I just sacrificed," and I'm like, wait, hold on, did you sacrifice from a 24-word seed, 24-word seed phrase that was initiated by a Trezor hardware or Ledger hardware device? No. Okay. Well, you need to start here. It's just so many people just don't have the best OPSEC. They don't have best practices, and they don't even know what they don't know, right? And so I hate to see when people, get scammed, get wrecked, get hacked, whatever, because they didn't know, because no one told them, or they didn't, even know that they needed to ask the right question, or, until somebody came in and said, whoa, hold on, wait, why are you just using a MetaMask? No, hold on. You should only use MetaMask as a front end. I can't tell you how many times I've like almost like not interrupted, but politely interrupted and said, hold on, back up. So I think that there's like a need for, somebody to take that extra step to really ensure that people are doing the right thing and doing it safely and securely, because, these are cutting edge Genesis, Richard Hart financial products that, I'm very confident are going to revolutionize, the entire financial space, financial sector. And we want people doing it the right way from the very first moment that they show any interest in the ecosystem, right? So, yeah, like I said, it's a work in progress. It's just something that, I want to do. I'm going to do personally, and I'll be the person answering the phone initially, and then if it takes off and becomes very popular and we have good results from it, fantastic. Then maybe I look at renting some space and hiring some folks. You know what I mean? Like, then I'm creating jobs, and of course I'm only going to be like looking into some kind of employment. Not even say employment, like I'd rather call it like a partnership opportunity for other Hexicans in the community who are knowledgeable, well versed, eloquent, able to break things down easily, concisely, simply for new boards, new on boards, no corners, whatever. So, it could be something that grows for sure. And absolutely, I'd like to be paid for my time at some point, but initially, this would all be just me offering personal time, no dollars, no strings attached. When it becomes a point where there is an overhead, and I have to come out of pocket for something, then I will, take that next step and, try to secure some kind of funding, or, look at that at some point. But, at least initially, I don't want to be billing anybody for my, quote unquote services, because that's not the way I view it personally right now. So that's just, again,
Did you
like I
steal
said,
this
just work in
idea
progress.
from the Bitcoin doctor? I've literally heard this exact same thing in Telegram. The
No,
Bitcoin
man,
doctor.
this is just something I just came up with the other day, man. I
Yeah,
think
man.
Paul was in the room too when I kind of pitched this initially a couple days ago.
So
Yeah,
keep
Keith.
in mind, keep in mind, you need to actually look at what Richard also has said is most of the time when people try to build businesses, instead of to sell down their coin or whatever it is to build a business, they should have just held the coin. I understand what you're saying about your volunteerism, and you're like many of us when we first start, especially, is like, wow, this is amazing, and I just want to share it with the world, which is great. However, you also have to look at the yield on your time, and the yield on your time for 1,000 people to buy $100 worth of a cryptocurrency, right? 1,000 people, let's say that's 10 minutes per person, which obviously it would take a lot more per person. Let's say it's 10 minutes. Do the math. 10,000 minutes, or 1,000 times 10 minutes. Yeah, 10,000 minutes. And then spread that over how many man days is that by a single person, right? So I'm doing something similar, and it is I talk only to people that have $20 million net worth only or higher, or they have network. And that means, are they outside of crypto? Are they in finance, in fashion, in the formation of supercars? Are they related to, these locations where sponsorship deals happen at the same meeting table? So I'm trying to get in front of Gary Vaynerchuk very soon in New York. And that's because he represents Pepsi and Coca-Cola and all these other kinds of companies, because I can get to their audience, right? Not just because I'm going to speak to crypto people, right? So you need to look at actually what your effectiveness might be. And when you're doing the volunteerism to help the guy, put $100 into crypto, that's wonderful. And that's the same, in my opinion, as my sister that's a school teacher. She feels great over teaching, 30 kids per class every day for 20 years. That's how she feels great. But that's not, that you have to get value out of it that's not financial in those reasons. So if you're doing it for volunteerism and you want to put your resources toward it, that's all, applaudable. But also look at how effective you can be. I sent you a DM, and the DM is the same thing that I posted on Twitter. And I haven't tried the product myself, but it is interactive video. And the way that the interactive video is very much like those what is it? You used to like fill in like you would make a choice to go left, go right, and then the story would change. I think it's like ad libs or something like that when I was a kid. So it's something along those lines, but it actually is video interactive. And part of the reason why video is so effective, whether it's live stream, YouTube content, an interactive video that basically the user decides, I need to know more about this, or I need to know more about that, and then it gets automatically guided. It doesn't actually shift them over to another video clip. It actually changes the video content itself based on the decisions that the user is making. It's more interactive. That kind of stuff is a better guide. And you making the effort or finding someone else that wants to make a similar effort to make that content is probably going to be better, because it's reproducible. At 4 a.m, whatever time zone you are when you're asleep, that content can be teaching someone else on the other side of the planet that has $100, right? Has $50, has $30, right? So you need to look at what your yield is on your time and your exasperation, right? How, we are very motivated at the beginning of the year to get into a health and fitness routine. And then by February, often that's faded, like decayed half as enthusiastic as you were in January. And that's just human psychology. So if you're gung-ho, look at those kinds of technology tools to multiply and leverage your time. That's really what you need to do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree 100%. I did get your link. I'm going to definitely look at that. And, I know Famous is working on his Hex to Learn website, which is absolutely coming along really well. It's got great information on it. And I think there's a way that, and him and I have talked about this, and Matt Hatter as well. We've kind of all, hey, look, when I've got the extra time, hopefully in the future, near future, a year or so, that could be something where I could dedicate an entirety of my day, and effort into, right? But yeah, no, I appreciate the feedback, man. And, what works on the high level with the high net worth individuals should definitely be able to work just as well, for the single moms working 2 jobs, because my thing is like, look, if I can try to help, and I've done this, like I have friends that, and people, even in random people in Twitter spaces that, have had, they heard me say something and that changed their mindset about whatever they were thinking. They were maybe going down a negative path, and they listened to something I said, and they messaged or reached out to me and were like, wow, that's amazing. You have no idea how much I appreciate this, blah, blah, blah. And so I think that could be replicated. And my goal would be to, try to keep people from getting wrecked. And if we're already doing that, great. Then how do I change their lives for the better? You know what I mean? But yeah, it would be an enormous, it would require an enormous amount of personal time, personal energy. But again, like I said, I'm an extremely motivated person. Just being in sales and just by being that kind of go-getter type person, you're motivated by a commission check. If I'm motivated by gratification or self-gratification that I helped somebody or that I had an impact in their life where it changed their outlook or it changed their direction for the better, then that's what I want to do, right? And the money will come later. I know it will. It's not a focus of money in the beginning. So, yeah, that's just my kind of general thought process on it. But yeah, I appreciate it.
Make an automated directory. That would be a quick way to scale and not eat up all of your time.
Yeah, it could get absolutely astronomical, Keith. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your heart and trying to help people. I've done similar things, and you end up in massive burnout mode. And it's like Jim said, it's all about the time versus the impact. And so I think that, like, even just starting off personally within your sphere of influence, doing what you're talking about and seeing how it goes just with your first, 20, 25, 30 onboards, right? Like, start there before you go all gung-ho and set everything up. Like, get your first 50 onboards, see what it's like, feel what it's like to do what you're talking about doing, and then go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I've got probably, I don't know, I've talked to about 100 people, maybe 15 at this point have actually sacrificed or staked HEX in some way. So not an enormous success rate, but you can only lead a horse to water. I can only show them the door, they have to walk through it, is the kind of mindset I think everyone needs to have in crypto. Because we're all about zero counterparty risk. And, the minute that you start to, try to put your faith in somebody else entirely to get you into crypto. Now, getting out, off ramping is a totally separate conversation. That's a whole different world. I don't know anything about off ramping crypto. I have yet to do that. I've just been pumping for the last year. So it's a little bit different on the off ramp side, but from my focus, I guess, would be the onboarding, the education, the welcoming to the community. Here's the best way to do it. Very non-biased, very, security focused, and yeah, walking people through the right steps. But yeah, no, it would. I mean, I've already seen burnout time from the hundreds of hours at this point that I've spent in the Twitter spaces. Mad Hatter, Hex is the Way, Sean, Mello, like, Famous. Like we've been doing this for quite some time, and it does, there is a level of burnout for sure. I totally understand. I'm there with you for sure.
What's up, Daniel? You got something?
Yeah, just want to say, in the end, Keith, if you want to do it, you do you, right? It made me think about this story I once was told that this man walking down the beach, and then suddenly see all these starfishes has been coming to land, and he meet this guy, and there's over probably 100,000 starfishes stranded in the sand. But he see this man taking one starfish and throwing it out in the water. And then he said, when he met the guy, well, what are you doing? This doesn't kind of make a difference. There's so much. Most of them are gonna die anyway. Yes, but I made a difference for this one, and then throw the starfish out and take another one, and this one, I made a difference too. So in the end, yeah, we can talk about scale and whatnot, sure, but if it is the connection, the social interaction you love to do, then do it, and you will probably make a difference for that one you're going to talk to. So yeah, I appreciate your motivation for it. So I just thought that angle perspective needed to get there as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
What up, Sean? Also, thanks to all the OGs and people like Funding Jim and Mando. Even though you guys are recommending that we scale this effort, you yourself, I've seen you guys on the chat and the voice chats as well, helping out time and again and addressing problems one at a time, going down to the ground. And I just want to say, on behalf of a lot of people out there, the beginners, the noobs, thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys, can I
Go
ask?
ahead, Sean. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Hey, thank you. So, is it tomorrow? Richard Hart and is having a debate. Is it on Twitter Space? Where is it?
There's a link to a website called gocoevents.com. And if you go up to the top of the Twitter space, it looks like it's the like 5th or 6th pinned tweet. I'm going to take down some of these, you guys. I know that everyone likes to put up their info. There you go. Funding Jim has it on the very first pin now.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. I think it will be so fun.
Yeah, I think it's going to be...
it's gonna be on fire.
Probably going to be some fireworks in there, yeah. I agree.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, both of them. They are just, gonna be really, oh, wow. I look forward to it. I actually like Richard Hart's tactic in debate. He's pretty aggressive. He's like, I'm gonna get you.
He likes to win.
Yeah, exactly. On the topic, somebody just mentioned you do you, I do me. I love that saying. Exactly, you do you, I do me. That everybody should just remember, because you should never do what the others do. We can't. We are not dumb. And I mean, you're here for you, and you have a purpose, you have a goal, you have a reason. You should stick to your reason. I think that's very, very important.
We're all a bunch of snowflakes.
Hello, everybody. I just wanted to drop into the space and thank everybody for being here, and the people that have come before me in the Hex Project are really laying the foundation or digging the well. And I just caught the last couple of minutes of this conversation, and I wanted to never know what kind of impact that one starfish could have per se. You know, using that metaphor or that story, that one starfish could go under the sea and onboard a whole litany of starfish into Hex. So, you know, you just really never know what kind of impact you're making in the world, or for better or worse. So keep doing the good work of spreading the message here. I think it's good. And, you know, it might be a thankless job and you may not see anything for it. However, that doesn't mean that that impact or that ripple effect or that momentum is for nothing. I'm sure that there have been people listening to this space that have not mentioned anything, whether that's in here on Twitter or on other platforms like Telegram that have gone out into their families, their communities, and have spread the word about Hex and Pulse and PulseX and that sort of thing. So I just wanted to bring that to the space and, keep doing the good work, guys and ladies.
If you're onboarding, the impact will be seen on the chart, but yeah.
Hey, so Sean, you had your hand up. And thank you for sharing. Hey, Sean. Sean. Or, okay, just another.
How's everyone doing today?
Awesome.
Love to hear it. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Beautiful day for all twos.
Sorry, guys. I had a I had a call in between. I couldn't get off the phone. My client kept asking me questions.
Hey, why don't you go ahead, Sean? I'll put myself back on mute. I'll wait after you.
All right. Sorry about that. Yeah, I just had to, say I appreciate what you guys are saying, Keith. Just to kind of go back to what you were talking about. I totally support that. We just have to kind of look at the overall investment side of like how much it's going to cost to run some kind of operation, and also have people that know what they're talking about. And so, yeah, I guess there's a lot of operational costs in regards to that. Personally, like you guys know that I've been writing articles for about now 2 weeks now on what's not on the news, and working on one as we speak. And it's because of these spaces. So I think the best thing everyone could do is really, take advantage of the ecosystems that we have and support each other. But yeah, that's what I was going to say. And just another go for it, man.
Yeah. Thanks, brother. We'll be, I know, you, me, Matt, a couple others, I think Mello, Famous, like we'll be coordinating, on a lot of this stuff in the near future, for sure.
I will be honest. I did miss out a large chunk of this conversation since I was at work. I actually just found you guys while searching through my live space, and I was interested in seeing if anyone was aware of this of a cryptocurrency that's backed by gold, the Pax coin.
You cut off.
What is your question? I mean, what are you asking about it?
I was curious to know if anyone else was familiar with the cryptocurrency that was backed by an actual gold. It's called the Pax coin. It's backed by the London Reserve, and they have other reserves in their entourage. But it's a currency. It's a cryptocurrency that can be traded to other gold jewelers. They'll accept this cryptocurrency, and it's backed by an actual gold. And I was curious to know if anyone else was aware of this cryptocurrency.
Peter Schiff probably loves that.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. I mean, I ran a precious metals firm for 12 years, but to me, it's a moot point. We just don't need crypto to be backed by gold.
No, I saw the reason why I was asking about it was because we've always used gold as a safe haven. So when bear markets go up, our gold will go up, but when we get back into the bull, our value of gold goes down. And I was kind of I was kind of thinking about using a portion of my crypto portfolio to have a hedge, to have some kind of security, like a savings. And I was thinking of purchasing this coin, but I agree too. I don't think there's any utility behind it actually.
But Danae, the whole point about gold is to not have counterparty risk for the most part. And if you don't have it, you don't own it. It's the same as your keys, not your crypto. Not your keys, not your crypto. You own a Pax token that's backed by gold, but like something happens, how are you going to get it?
Well, so what they do offer is there are legal tenders that would accept this coin at any given point in time. So you would just come in, give them a trade in the gold, these coins, and you can pick up physical gold if you ever wanted to. So that's kind of the main utility I see here. But currently, I live in Canada. I live in Montreal, to be more specific, and we don't have this. There are no gold stores here that would recognize this coin. But I was kind of thinking about, again, crypto kind of is boundless. You don't have there's no boundaries from where you are. As long as you have an address to share, you can send, receive, and so forth. And so I was just thinking about, with my current portfolio, if I should dilute some of my Ethereum and just kind of have a savings account of some sort, rather than having everything stored in Ethereum and kind of like a checking account, going up and down.
Yeah, but the price goes up and down with gold, which is totally manipulated. So if you want gains, good luck with that.
Well, it'd be less gains. I think it'd be more from a perspective of just having a hedge, just in case something does go wrong. I mean, I don't want to spook anyone, but I mean, personally, I've always kind of feared for a .com type bubble in the crypto space, especially back in the 2000s when, we talk about when Amazon was valued at $100 back in the day, and it bubbled out to $1. But again, now you look at Amazon, it's $3,000. That's a different story. But I kind of worry about the same thing in crypto with a bubble happening, and a lot of this pandemic fueled, as we talk about. So I was kind of just looking for something to hedge against it, just in the event that there is this bubble. And I don't know. I'm personally just looking at history and how markets have repeated themselves, and I'm looking in this direction of utility, and with NFTs also kind of, I don't think all NFT projects are blowing out of proportion, but I do worry too that, we're using NFTs as shares in a company, and a lot of people crowd surfing, trying to create DAOs to buy land in metaverse and so forth. And with the value of buying land on Sandbox, whether it's a 4x4 or 12x12, are astronomical. And so I was just kind of, again, going back to my point of, I just want to get people's opinion of if I should have if it's worth having some type of hedge in the event of.
I think stable coins are better. I think stable coins are better if you want to hedge.
Stable coins like Bitcoin, or what stable coins are you referring to?
No, a stable coin like DAI or USDC that basically it's going to stay at $1 and not be fluctuating. If you want to hedge, just put it in the hedge, right? Like, but the premise is though that gold can't go down in price, and it can.
So, no, you can, yeah. All right, thanks for that, Mendel. I appreciate your input. I'll think about that one.
Hey, just to add to that.
He's looking for a savings account, guys. You missed the key right here.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that to him. I'm in Canada too. I'm in Toronto, so welcome. But I personally have been in the space for about 4 years. I was in Quebec for a while doing mining, and I've been always looking for like a savings account with high yield. That I don't have to really care about what the market inflation is if I'm making my interest. And the way I look at it is that most of us in the space are, about decentralization, and we have a token called HEX. If you've not heard of it, that token, I don't know if he left. He might have left, but actually he's still here. So
he's still here.
Yeah, the HEX token, it provides up to 38% APY on your commitment to your staking. Now it's fully decentralized, so it's not like other platforms where they promise these high APY, but it's centralized and they can get hacked and all your crypto can be liquidated. So with this system, it's something that I've been in it for a little over a month now, and I'm a diehard, fully, after I've watched and researched and done everything, I'm fully in, and that's because I was always just looking for somewhere to put my money that, not including the appreciation of the token, I'm getting a good yield. And really, I couldn't find anything else, just because I like to have full control and not have a centralized entity making those decisions for me. So have you heard of HEX?
No, I actually haven't. I'm going to take a look at this right after I talk to some of you guys, after a little bit of research. But I had the reason why I had talked about gold. Well, again, I saw gold versus crypto, and I came across this coin, I would say 3-4 nights ago, and it really piqued my interest. I was just thinking, like, yeah, you know what? Even if there was a .com crash, bubble, whatever, with crypto of some degree, gold technically won't be affected. Even if it's a gold crypto coin, the value of gold backed by the actual gold in the London reserves, it wouldn't take a hit. And the coin has been pretty stable, I would say, in the 2000 range. It fluctuates anywhere between 2050 to 2200. But again, that $2,000 marker is very consistent. So that's kind of what piqued my interest of hedging, of creating some type of savings. Because again, I'm a small business owner. What really got to me was, I'm not sure if you heard of this, Sean, but KPMG recently listed cryptocurrency in their asset books, specifically Ethereum and Bitcoin. And so now as a small business owner, I'm thinking I should be allowed to also purchase Ethereum on my business brokerage account and be able to say I have an asset. Now, again, institutions here in Canada aren't recognizing your crypto portfolio as an asset, because it's not on their exchange, and so they're not able to liquidate. But just setting with KPMG, setting the foundation for listing cryptocurrencies as assets, I was thinking there should be a savings of some type too in crypto. But I will definitely take out Hex. I have come across other staking pools too, not as high as you had mentioned at 38 APY, but it's definitely something I want to protect myself.
The difference is the self-sovereignty.
Do you know about Peter Schiff then, obviously, if you're into gold, or are you familiar with him?
Yeah, he's a bum.
Sorry, who?
Yeah, Peter Schiff.
No, I'm not familiar with Peter Schiff.
Oh wow, he's sort of a gold bug in the space, and yeah, I mean, just Google him. He's all over the place on Twitter, interviews, et cetera, et cetera. And ironically enough, it's interesting you bring up Pax Gold, because if you look up at the topic of our conversation right now is gold, crypto, Richard Hart debates Peter Schiff. I'm not sure what brought you to the room, but was it the gold hashtag or what? But if you're not aware, check out who Peter Schiff is, and then check out Richard Hart and Hex. And tomorrow, there's going to be a debate between the two of them, and it's going to be pretty interesting. So maybe it might provide a few insights.
I was actually just surfing on the. I actually just got Twitter about a month ago, and I was just searching through spaces, and this discussion room came up. So definitely piqued my interest, because I had been debating internally too about gold versus crypto, and I will definitely be definitely be looking into this debate tomorrow at 10 p.m. for UTC.
And also, there's links of Hex that you can go to. Is a site full of links of Hex that you can go to. It's called hexnoob.com. And
just to add to that, I'm a business owner here in Toronto as well, just another. And when it comes down to it, I constantly buy insurance policies for clients, and instead, me and my business partner have now decided to, instead of paying an insurance company a certain amount of money because the cost of what they would cover, it doesn't really make sense to us. We've now been buying Hex and staking it, and you get a certain APY depending on how much you buy and how much you stake. And the way it works is that, I'd rather have a savings account, especially right now at the price that Hex is, that I can buy into and just gain more interest on that investment without having to worry about the bear market or the ups and downs. And that's one reason why it really made sense to me. And the fact that I don't have to worry about what the markets are doing. It's not pegged to Bitcoin or Ethereum like the rest of the market, because there's a thing called Hart's Law that Richard Hart invented, which pretty much says the reason these things fluctuate is because their biggest pairs are paired together. Like Bitcoin's biggest pair, Ethereum's biggest pair is Bitcoin, and vice versa with most of the big coins. So as they go up and down, they reflect each other's pricing. I'm sorry, Marcavelli, you had something to say?
He said discovered it. He didn't invent it. He coined a term. He didn't create the process of Hart's Law. It's something that was already taking place, that he just made it more aware to people by coining the term. He didn't invent it.
Hey, did I get rugged, by the way?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was back to just another. Yeah, those are the links that you can go find Hex, and go research howtopost.com as well. Go just do some research on the Hex, and also join us in the debate.
Thank you guys. I will definitely be doing that. And yeah, it's kind of fun. Yeah.
Sorry, just one more thing. Another good interview, I think, for someone who knows crypto. If you YouTube search Meet Kevin and Richard Hart interview, I think that'll just give you some insight to like where Richard Hart came from, like his information, like his knowledge, and his game theory on crypto itself. So I think that would be a great video to introduce you to who Richard Hart is.
Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Is this a weekly space you guys hold, or is this something the first time you guys are just kind of coming out here? It's the first time I'm seeing you guys, so it's definitely very interesting.
Most of these guys are here all the time.
Yeah, we're usually on here daily, like helping people with security, helping people answer questions about crypto. But this specific space hosted by HEXORCA is the second attempt for the world's longest live Twitter space. We did one a month ago, and it was 98 hours straight. This time we're doing it as well, and I believe we're attempting to break that record again. When it comes to it, it's just a matter of a community. I've been in the crypto space for a long time. There's never been a community like the Hex community. And now the biggest news that's coming out is the Pulse chain. So Richard Hart is now forking Ethereum. It's a hard fork where he'll be copying every token and every NFT over from ERC20s to PRC20s, which is doubling everyone's bags. It's all proof of stake. And at the same time, the transaction fees are going to be much less. Instead of waiting on Ethereum, they keep pushing their consensus layer proof of stake over and over and over. We had a quick debate about it, how, Vitalik came on. He was in an interview and he said, hey, it's going to take about 6 years for us to do this. And that's just going to slow down and kill like DeFi and the revolution of people trying to join in crypto, because the average person really can't pay $60 to transact, if they're trying to send $20. And when it comes down to it, now, there's over $1 billion been raised for the Pulse X exchange that is still ongoing, the sacrifice for that. I mean, that it is a lot of information. So I think just to kind of dial it back a little, you should just start about looking into Richard Hart, as a billionaire philanthropist who created, he's the founder of Hex, and, looking at some of his interviews and seeing his information, I think would be very beneficial for you.
Thank you, Sean. And you know what? After I check out more of Richard Hart and Peter Schiff, I'm definitely gonna go explore your following and see how many of the thousand people I can also learn from.
Awesome, man.
What the hell's going?
You keep getting muted and unmuted, Mello. Maybe some close.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I had to leave and come back. Okay, so I think that hashtag got him in here, and I think the hashtag actually worked. That's great.
Yeah, I did share it not too long ago, so maybe that could have been the reason. Also, there's a cool website that I can send you guys some information to, and it has all of the live spaces. It's just a new, I think it's called Spaces. I have to take a look at it. It's called spacesdashboard.com. It's in beta, so you have to be invited to it. So I followed them and they invited me to it, and I can probably send you guys, whoever's interested in that, but it does send you all of it. Personally, what I've been using it for is when people are hosting NFT spaces with hundreds and hundreds of people, I'll go into their spaces and they'll let me come on. And with the articles I've been writing on my What's Not on the News, I do have information about people that are NFT artists, and say, hey, don't worry, all your NFTs are going to be copied. I don't know if you're aware of this. And it's piqued some interest for a lot of people just to bring, awareness to the projects. But Yeah. Another great website is howtopulse.com. Great team, great information. And, it all starts with security. So just another, hopefully, you have all your assets on a hardware wallet and you have your 24 word seed phrase, highly secured. I always start with that information first.
Thank you, Sean.
But just one more thing about where you can find these spaces. So we have a gentleman called the Famous Hexagon, and he's broadcasting this live on YouTube right now, and his channel is Hex2Learn, and he also has a website, Hex2Learn, and you can click on there and it will bring it up for you. So and he actually has an app too, but basically that's one of the cool things about the Twitter Spaces is we're running these things pretty much every single day, almost 24/7 at this point, and so we're meeting a lot of great people just like you who are sharing, and we appreciate you coming in and being curious to learn more. So thanks so much.
There's so much happening in the space right now. It's going to be a little overwhelming for people, especially with the NFTs being copied, and they're under the idea that these things are unique to them, and when they hear it's being copied, they've got to be kind of racking their brain. Well, how is that possible? Because they may not have the knowledge of the crypto space and understand what a fork is or how these things could occur, and it might be a little scary for them. So how are you guys? Have you had any of that happen to you guys?
I've been speaking to some big NFT spaces and big followings. Like I was in a spaces with the people that were running like the NFT LA conference, and a lot of them hadn't heard of it. Some of them were excited about it. Some were hexagon, so it was good to hear. But what the way I think it's been easier for me is because I've been writing these articles, and I've been going on without shilling anything. I'm just kind of like, hey guys, I just want to let you know that as the average NFT to mint, sell, bid on is enough electricity to power a refrigerator for a month. And think about how much NFTs are being sold right now. That's a huge detriment to our environment. I'm in the HVAC industry, and I see the government moving the heat pumps. So that means that there's going to be huge strain on the electrical grid, not to mention electric cars. So they're going to have to start cutting back on electricity. And with things like Bitcoin and Ethereum, the government come out tomorrow and say, no, we're banning it all. You can't mine anymore. And so that's going to end that. And, Richard Hart's taking the lead and not letting them, keep pushing us around and saying, hey, let's create something much better.
Bro. Governments can't ban Bitcoin.
Well, I mean, they can stop mining though, right? They can say, hey, no more mining.
Yeah, good luck.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, we don't know what's going to happen in the future.
They could, but it's just more on like cutting off power or cutting the resources to mine, but physically can't stop mining.
Well, there is a physical point of failure, though. They can mow down miners with steamrollers. They've done it, but yeah, they do pop up somewhere else. But there's also a cost with that. What's more interesting is the fact that as Bitcoin progresses, its power usage is becoming higher. As Ethereum progresses, its power usage is becoming higher. And at some point, like something like Bitcoin that has a cap, at some point, the miners are no longer incentivized to pay those power bills to print those coins. I mean, that's way off in the future, but I mean, it's not really. At some point, they're going to have to switch to, a proof of work scenario or proof of stake scenario anyway. So mining was okay when everybody could participate, but mining has become centralized because now you have to have a large amount of money and a large amount of equipment and a large amount of upkeep in order to continue to produce, as where something that is proof of stake allows validators to just pop up randomly anywhere.
If I could interrupt, Johnny, I would even say that while mining has become detrimental in cost, I think there is a green way of mining. And one thing that I came across, I want to say at least like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, someone actually has a mining farm, but they use animal feces from their herd, and that's what generates their power. and it's actually zero waste. Everything they mine is pure. And I think, you know, if you're in the city and you're trying to mine, I think that's very difficult. But
again, that's reducing the amount of people that can mine, and the amount of power consumption in order to mine a coin is still going up. So you're reducing.
But I think how you get your power source is also very important, right? If you're going to rely on like here in Quebec, we have Hydro-Quebec. So Hydro-Quebec is where I'm going to get my electricity. And I'm going to rely on Hydro-Quebec to be able to mine and use their services. That's detrimental. That's a strain on their power grid, and that's when business these monopolies are going to want to step up. But if you can if you can create self-reliant sources for energy, and I think again creating a mining farm and using renewable energy can be an alternative. But again, it takes a lot of money. You're right, and
so why is it necessary? This is the question. Why is mining necessary? Proof of stake networks have already proven to work. So why is mining actually necessary? It's security theater. It allows a select group that is able to mine, and they're in control. Why shouldn't the people that hold the currency be the ones receiving the new coins? Why is this action of mining necessary when that action can be substituted with something like, I don't know, holding? It's just an action.
Yeah, it is an action. I honestly thought mining was a really good way of introducing and welcoming people into the space and creating incentives for participation. You know, when you're again, if honestly, if I keep talking further, I think Johnny, you'd crush me in like 5 seconds. I don't really have much to share, but
I was in Quebec for 6 months building mining facilities in 2018. And so I come from the space, and all I know is that not only is it like energy cost, but yeah, let's say we're creating this energy that's sustainable, that's still taking power from the grid that should be going to heat our homes and power our cars and things like that. So the grid issue there is still there. On top of that, the machines don't last forever. So you're constantly wasting natural resources, building all these computers that are going to continue to break down and lose efficiency and then not be usable. Because if you look at like the ant miner, they keep evolving because they need faster hash rates to be profitable. And in the end,
they keep evolving. They keep evolving because the Bitcoin miner companies that are selling the computers need to sell more computers. That's why. And the external sell pressure is horrible, you know, because they actually have to sell the coins in order to pay for the power bills, whether it's green energy or not. There's still upkeep, and that is constant sell pressure because they have to pay for their overhead. So those coins are immediately sold on the market. There's a limited amount of profit and a limited amount of incentive for the miners to even do that because most of their money is going out to overhead anyway. We have to get over this idea that waste indicates value because you don't necessarily need waste to support value. Value is a consensus. Value is not proof of waste.
I don't disagree with that. I think it's still too. I think we're still too new to really have.
But see, the thing is, when Bitcoin first came out, everybody could mine it on their computer, and this was the right way to distribute it. You had to create some sort of action to assign the people the new coins that were being inflated into the supply. Okay, so this action of running this algorithm is how the distribution was done. And it was fine. It was decentralized. Everybody could participate. Where it went wrong was all of a sudden, now you need these specific computers that are made by specific companies, and you have to pay them for the ability to mine. This is no longer decentralization. And then you had these large companies that would compete with each other, and they were getting the majority of the pool because you had to have these specific computers in order to do this, and you had to have a lot of them. So that changed the entry level. Your average person could no longer participate with their little computer in their little house and be part of the ecosystem. The people that are making the money are the ones that are able to throw in massive amounts of money. And where these proof of stake networks come in, and specifically Hex, is you are able